Well, welcome in. Welcome in. The long wait, Kyle. It's over. Football is back in some capacity. Dead period. Done. Spring
Yep.
practice
Yep.
here. And of course, we're here to cover it all right here on Bama Football on YouTube with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Kyle Henderson himself. Kyle, how you doing today?
Fam, what's up? Run the thumbs up on all these videos. We appreciate you guys being here. We finally made it to spring football under Coach Kalen DeBoer. We with Ty Hayes this morning. We appreciate you guys. Let us know where you guys are watching from inside the comment box. And today you have Alabama's first practice. So let me give you kind of the quick rundown of how this week will work from a football schedule standpoint. So you have football practice 2 days, starting at 3:25 at the practice facility here at the University of Alabama. Tuesday, they're off. Wednesday, you have practice as well. And then you have an open practice period, which is going to be amazing. So that's going to give us an inside look at Alabama. I'll be there. Smook will be there. And, of course, Taylor will be there. And we'll be bringing you the coverage. Actually, I'll be there as well today for Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference, which is scheduled probably around like between 5:15 and 6 p.m. There's no like definitive time, but that's usually the time. And of course, we'll be streaming that right here on YouTube. And then on Wednesday, open practice. Thursday, they're off. And then Friday, you have another practice. And then at the end of practice, you'll have 2 interview opportunities. So we got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. And we appreciate you guys being here. If you're already here, you're probably already subscribed. And if you're a fan funder, we appreciate you more than you know. He's Ty Hayes. I'm Kyle Henderson, both of Bama Football on YouTube. And, just kind of warming up the show with Ty as he gets underway for our opening segment. I'll be back on at 9 to discuss my opening thoughts about going into this Kalen DeBoer area and things that are on my mind, things that I'm watching for. So we appreciate you guys all inside the comment box, whether you're in Perdido like Rodney or if you're at Antonio Snell. We appreciate you guys. Hell with Auburn. Everybody, we appreciate you. The undefeated. We made it to spring football. Ty?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, do we have a birthday in the chat? Did
No
I
way.
catch that right? Did I catch that?
Whose
Where are we?
birthday
Someone
is it?
requested a birthday song. Hell with Auburn said,
No
"Good
way.
morning, want my birthday song." Well, Auburn, listen, I'm going to do you one better. It would be a disservice for me to sing to you on your birthday. I truly cannot sing. I think that the real birthday gift would me not sing to you because that would start your day off real bad. But what I can do is this: we can get everybody in the undefeated to wish my guy a happy birthday. Thank you for spending that with us here at Bama Football on YouTube. Kyle, I say this all the time, and it truly is, it's true. It's why I'm so thankful to you. It's why I'm so thankful to everybody in the undefeated. 2 most valuable things you have: time and your health. And for someone to be here on their birthday, starting off their birthday day and week with us, hell with Auburn, truly, that means the world to myself. Happy birthday to yourself. But Kyle, it feels like it's Alabama fans' birthdays. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
and you know what? Like, you think about this. Hell with Auburn. It's his birthday, okay? So everybody inside the undefeated, wish him a happy birthday. But think about this. Your birthday present didn't come on March 4th. It came on March 3rd or March 2nd when Antonio Coleman flipped back to Alabama. Ty, your first topic is recruiting is heating up. This coming weekend, when you look to the list of Alabama prospects coming into Tuscaloosa, it's a really good list. But most importantly, you get another class of 2025 commitment in Antonio Coleman. What do you think? Because we didn't really necessarily have time to kind of dive into Antonio Coleman, but what's the backstory? How are you feeling about this? And T, if you could pull up a quick graphic of Antonio Coleman, who is now committed back to Alabama for the class of 2025 out of Saraland.
I have been screaming to anybody that would listen, wait till March. Wait till March. Whenever we talked about these visits that took place in January with Kalen DeBoer, I referred to them as foundational. Whenever people were like, hey, how come we didn't get a bunch of commitments? I'm like, well, you got Ryan Williams, you got Noah Carter, but for the other guys that came around, it was foundational. Recruiting is all about relationships. They need to build that foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I was talking about with this staff. They are great at building and maintaining relationships. Now, I understand Coleman was once an Alabama commit, but Kyle, he flipped before Saban retired. He flipped December 23rd. Saban was still there. Roach was still there. The picture was clean. Now he's back. with a new staff. I think that says a lot. I think Alabama fans need to be excited. He has got a vicious motor. He has something you can't teach, which is tenacity and want to. You either have it or you don't. We can get your technique right with Freddie Roach. We can do these little things, the strength, the speed. We can work on all that. Do you? Well, he does. And that's what you can't teach. Love this win. And I really do think that this is a snowball effect moving forward.
Yeah, and I think when you look to Antonio Coleman, who flipped back from Auburn to Alabama, a couple things stand out to me. Number one, he was from Saraland. Well, who else is from Saraland? And that's Ryan Williams. And that was really a marquee victory for Coach Kalen DeBoer to land Ryan Williams from the class of 2024. Again, he reclassified from 2025, but went head-to-head against Hugh Freeze and all the money, whatever it was. He's able to solidify that as his really first marquee prospect. Now you go into the class of 2025, where you're really going to be judged on your recruiting. How can you recruit? What are the prospects you're going to bring in, and which prospects from in the state of Alabama can you continue to retain? And I think you mentioned a really good point right here, the snowball effect. So Antonio Coleman from Saraland, same high school as Ryan Williams, teammates. But I think it also bodes well for another prospect that Alabama is looking at the quarterback position, which is KJ Lacey, right? A big-time quarterback out of the class of 2025 who everybody's excited about, who has been here to Tuscaloosa many times this year. And I think it says a lot about Coach Kalen DeBoer's overall recruiting ability early on. And I know he's only been here for maybe I don't even know if it's been 60 days, but it has been impressive to see what he's been able to do from the transfer portal, from recruiting class of 2024 and now class of 2025. And I get it. Don't fall into like, where is, Alabama ranked inside the rankings right now, because it's still a long time away. But I think picking up Antonio Coleman really good in terms of the class of 2025 momentum. And I think it also says something about retaining Coach Freddie Roach, right? So you have Coach Freddie Roach, who is an associate head coach now at the University of Alabama with the defensive line. I like what Coleman brings to the table. As you said, he's got a really good motor. And, prospects from L.A., Lower Alabama, certainly doing their thing. Ty, what you think when we look to Coach Kalen DeBoer in this class of 2025, you've been seeing the prospects that are coming out. And I know in your segment here coming up, you're going to talk about recruiting, kind of give us a taste and a teaser of what to expect this weekend as Alabama starts practice today, but is also hosting some very talented prospects from across the country.
Kyle, once again, going back to, I have been screaming this since January. The January visits were great, but they were all paving the way for this right here, which is March, where I really thought Alabama would get going. And Alabama got great news, getting Coleman back. But with that great news came some other little nuggets that, Kyle, dare I say, flew under the radar. Let me explain. And I dove into these in a video that's going to be releasing on my channel. Alabama was in the list for several top prospects, top schools. I'm talking Elijah Griffin, who just dropped his top 12. Ackland Deer just dropped his. Alabama's in there. CJ Wiley just dropped his. Alabama's in there. David Sanders, the number 2 player in the nation, the number 1 offensive tackle, and the number 1 player in North Carolina, just dropped his top 6. Alabama is squarely in that. Ladies and gentlemen, the argument that Alabama's brand was Nick Saban's brand, it's disingenuous. Yes, Alabama had a brand with Nick Saban, and yes, Nick Saban had his own brand, but do not be disenfranchised into believing that Alabama does not have a brand. They are recruiting at a high level right now, and I was really interested to see how many of these top-level guys are including Alabama in their top schools. That, in my opinion, flew under the radar. And quick shout out to Patriot Life. Gifted 5 Bama football on YouTube with Kyle Henderson memberships. Patriot Life, by my count, since I've been on, that's 25 now, since last Wednesday or Thursday, I believe. The man, the myth, the legend, rocking it out, going hard with the memberships. But Kyle, got to hear from you about the Alabama recruiting.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity this coming weekend for Coach Kalen DeBoer to showcase not only his ability to recruit, but also the entire coaching staff's ability to recruit, and see Alabama here in Tuscaloosa under Coach Kalen DeBoer. Because I think, for the last, before the dead period, Alabama was on the road, right? You're away, you're meeting new people, you're shaking hands, but now come back here. Come see greatness here in Tuscaloosa. And also, I think it bodes really well for Alabama following the NFL Combine. I mean, you look at guys, how they performed. Dallas Turner, you were like, look, these guys were built by Bama. Terrion Arnold, Chris Broswell, guys that just performed. I mean, Jermaine Burton's performance was great. So I think that you're like, look, this is still the process. We want to get you here, get you developed so you can go ultimately to the NFL. And I love it. I can't wait to see what he can do as well as his coaching staff. But Ty, I'll let you get back to your segment. Please run the thumbs up on all these videos. Alabama starts off this mega week with landing Antonio Coleman, flipping him from Auburn to Alabama. Now, that is 2 big victories for Coach Kalen DeBoer over Auburn, and he just got here. A lot of momentum going into this week. Remember, we got you covered with tons of spring football coverage coming up all this week. Monday, you got the press conference from Kalen DeBoer. Wednesday, open practice. We have tons of footage and tons of coverage coming your way right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Ty, have an amazing segment, and we'll catch up with you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Thank you very much, Kyle. And Kyle made an interesting point that I want to unpack a little bit here. Kalen DeBoer has not coached a game at Alabama yet. He's 2-0 versus Auburn and Hugh Freeze. Bama fans, you love to see it. Not only 2-0, getting the win for Ryan Williams, who everybody thought Auburn would get once Nick Saban retired, and then flipping back Antonio Coleman. Now, we over here at Bama Football on YouTube, we're pretty bullish. Right? I kept talking about how Antonio Coleman called it a dream visit after he left. Coach Smook was saying he was going to flip back. Coach Jay, Coach Sean, myself, we were all fairly bullish on Antonio Coleman flipping back into this class. Right? And the signs all seem to point there. And retaining Freddie Roach, I think, was a massive win. Good morning, Todd. Good morning, Todd. But what comes next? Right? You've had your wins over Auburn, which is already going to elevate him in Alabama fans' eyes, which is great, right? Kalen DeBoer already starting it off with big wins over your bitter rival. But as I alluded to, good morning, Shane. As I alluded to, over the weekend, right? Over the weekend, a lot happened for Alabama that I think flew under the radar. And I understand why it flew under the radar. Now, we're going to be unpacking this on a video, but just to kind of give you a taste, a sampler, we kind of already talked about it. Elijah Griffin, a top 5 player in all of high school football per the 24/7 Sports Composite, coming in at the number 3 overall, the number 1 defensive lineman, the number 1 player in the state of Georgia, releasing his top list, including Alabama in it. And understand this, ladies and gentlemen, whenever I talk about this Elijah Griffin or an Ackland Deer or a CJ Wiley or a David Sanders, all of which who release top lists, all of which have Alabama on it. And when I say release their top lists, I mean from yesterday or Saturday. I'm talking like the past 2 days. A lot has flown under the radar for Alabama. A lot has flown under the radar for Alabama. And it's all good news. Now, understand, I'm not saying that just because Alabama is on a top list, that means they're going to win the battle. But what it does mean is that a question has been answered. What question, you may wonder? Simple. What was the main question all fans outside of our own stated whenever Kalen DeBoer was hired? Can he recruit? Can he recruit? Does Alabama still have a brand? Well, as Jor said, Bama is making everybody's lists. Why? Because they're intrigued. Because Ryan Williams loved the pitch. Because Antonio Coleman loved the pitch. And because Alabama has a brand. Whether people wanted to admit this fact or not, but now you have got to come to terms with this fact. This new coaching staff has not coached a down for the Crimson Tide. They haven't. That being said, you've got a collection of phenomenal football minds in the building. From offensive football minds to defensive football minds to an amazing strength and conditioning program, the best facilities money can buy. Unbelievable developers of talent on the offensive side, the defensive side, you name it. Well, you've only had one recruiting event, and early returns are already that you seem to be a mainstay on all these top prospects lists. Why? Because you have a brand. Because they know Alabama is still a team to watch. Jermaine Mims says Bama ranks number 9 with only 3 commits now, Ty. I know on 24/7 Sports, Jermaine, they're like number 26 in the nation right now with 3 commits. But I find that, like, that's fine, right? That's fine. Even being 26th in the nation. What I'm more impressed with is that average recruit rank. Because if you're in the process of having a smaller recruiting class, which if we look at the top 10 right now, like I think Oklahoma has 10, Notre Dame has like 13. Those top 10 classes are all much further along than Alabama's. But if you look at the average recruit rank, Alabama's like at number 2 or 3 in the nation at average recruit rank. They're sitting at a 93.49. Boom. Yeah, 100%, Jor. 100%. The player composites are what really tells the whole story. And that average recruit rank, to me, whenever you're talking about a class that's building, that gives a far greater analysis than does just the rank. Now, when it's all said and done, once you have like 23, 24 guys, then the rank gives a bit more of a thorough view because it's more all-encompassing, right? It's weighted a little bit better. But at the point where you're under 10 guys, under really 15 guys in a class, that's where you look at that average recruit rank. And that's where Alabama is showing people, yeah, we only have 3 guys in our class, but we have one of the highest average recruit ranks in the nation. Why? Because they're all top 300 guys. 2 of them are top 100 guys. And as we just alluded to, you have several top prospects all across high school football, including Alabama, a top 220 player overall in CJ Wiley, a 6'4" wide receiver, who, by the way, you're looking at a Travis Smith Jr., you're looking at a Caleb Cunningham, you're looking at a CJ Wiley, right? You still got the guys out there at modern day. Wide receiver is going to be the pick of the litter for Alabama, if I had to have my guess. Right? If I had to have my guess, Alabama is going to be in a perfect position for wide receivers because of Coach DeBoer, because of Coach Shepard. So we've been expecting these recruiting wins to come down. That's exactly why I stated whenever the first recruiting event happened, when Antonio Coleman came, when that event ended, I called it foundational. It was foundational for this reason. In recruiting, you must build a foundation. Well, luckily for Alabama, they were able to maintain a foundation with Freddie Roach. You must foster positive relationships. Well, Antonio Coleman came. He developed relationships with those not named Freddie Roach because he already had the relationship with Freddie Roach. And what he found was that Alabama was where he wanted to be. So the Coleman flip isn't inherently shocking. Right? That's something that if you were over here, we've been talking about. That's one that we all thought was going to be happening. Like I said, Coach Smook said it. Coach Jay said it. Coach Sean said it. I said it. Kyle had been talking about it. We kind of had that feeling over here. Now, what comes next is what's going to get very exciting because, as I stated, I think this is a snowball effect. It was always going to be one of those things where the first domino falls, what happens after? Well, these dominoes to follow are going to be very intriguing. There's a reason why. There's a reason why I keep bringing up maybe some of the news that flew under the radar, where all these top prospects in the nation are putting Alabama on their top lists, because it's interesting to note. And we still have a bunch of visits coming up in March. You still have got top prospects coming in. Yeah, Moonrock, I actually think you or I forget who it was, but someone last week, I think it was Thursday, asked me about Coleman, and that was basically exactly what I said. I was like, I would not be surprised if he ends up back in this class. Retaining Roach was huge. He loved the visit. I thought he would come more. I didn't know that he would flip this quickly. Like that, the timing of it was a pleasant surprise, but I think the flip was absolutely coming. I forget who asked me that last week, because we even got talking about how he flipped before Nick Saban had retired and how that might be something that was, something to watch. I didn't know that he would flip this early, but I did think that Coleman would end up back in this class. I did not think he would flip this early, though. I think Smook was a bit more bullish on the timing of the flip. Whereas I was just like, I think he's going to end up back in the class. When is anybody's guess? It wasn't you that asked. Yeah. I had no idea that he'd flip now. I to be 100% honest, I thought it would actually come maybe in April, May, right? Like once the ball got rolling a bit more. Yeah, that's what I thought. I think Smook was more bullish on like, hey, it's coming sooner rather than later, and I didn't have it coming late, but I thought that the ball would get rolling a bit more, and then you'd have the flip coming in. But this is a great indication. No, Moon, we were the exact same way, my man. We were the exact same way. I thought spring. I did not think this. Good call for Smook though, because he was bullish on it happening soon. So recruiting is heating up. You may only have 3 prospects in this class. I'm not worried about where Alabama is ranked in recruiting in March. I'm not. I'm not worried about that one bit, because I'm going to tell you all one thing right now, and I want you to watch it moving forward. In fact, we are going to go to 24/7 Sports right now and look at who the top recruiting classes are, because I want you to watch this going forward. Not only for Alabama, but I want you to watch this going forward. So you have Notre Dame out at the front with 17 commits, an average player rank of 90.67, but 17 commits. Now, over the past few years, there has been a trend, right? Over the past few years, there has been a trend of recruiting classes that start off real fast, real hot. Like I'm talking 20, 17, 15 guys in March. Rarely does it end up like that. Michigan last year had a few guys flip, though last year had less flips than normal. Last year had far fewer flips than normal. Florida last year was a good one. Florida was a good one. Michigan and Florida, they had some losses. The year before, I don't know if you all remember, but Notre Dame did exactly what they're doing right now. In fact, Notre Dame does this every year. For those that watch, they start off every single year as a top 3, top 4 recruiting class in the nation, because they have so many more numbers than everybody else. Come May, their class is almost done every single year. But without fail, and I don't wish this upon Notre Dame, but without fail, they have guys flip. 2 years ago, they had a recruiting class that was looking, quite frankly, phenomenal. Absolutely diabolical was their recruiting class. I'm going to tell you the names of guys that were one time in the recruiting class in March, in April, in May, who didn't end up in their recruiting class. Do you guys remember that Keon Keeley was committed to Notre Dame, as was Dylan Edwards, who showed out at Colorado, give me the ball and I'm going to make a play? Did you know Peyton Bowen was also committed to Notre Dame, the 5-star safety who's going to be a staple in the Sooners' backfield this year? All of them were committed to Notre Dame at the same time. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a wide receiver also committed that ended up not making it. All of this goes to say that every single year there are recruiting classes that start real hot. And everybody thinks, oh man, you got to watch them this year. And every year without fail, a lot of those classes dissipate. I'm not worried about where anybody ranks in March, but I will tell you why. I think that this flip happening soon is notable. Because as I alluded to, I think everybody over here on Bama Football on YouTube thought he would flip. I thought it would be end of March, April. Smook called it pretty much well on the head, where he's like, hey, it's coming a lot sooner than that. No doubt, it did. The reason why it's big, because that's showing other recruits out there that Bama, their ramp-up period isn't going to be months on end. Their ramp-up period is starting much earlier than a lot of people anticipated, and because of that, I'm interested to see what the rest of the month brings us. Remember, you still have your big recruiting event that will be coming in the next few weeks. That's going to be huge. You still have top prospects who were able to plan visits because the first junior day, you had nobody really able to plan visits. Guys came in last minute. This one has been planned. You will get big names. You got big names last time. You're going to get massive names this time. And it's going to be interesting to see where Alabama ends up. But make no mistake about it, the ball is rolling. March is here, and we've got a lot to talk about. As you can see, going into point number 2, we're talking March Madness. We've already kind of been talking about it. And no, we're not talking about basketball, though we'll have that conversation here shortly. Not today, though. Today's a football day. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't expect me to talk about basketball today. With all due respect to March Madness and basketball, it's the first day of Alabama spring practice. It's football today. We've just gone through the dead period. We've just gone through Saban retiring. We've just gone through all of this. It's football today. And March Madness absolutely applies to football. And it applies to Alabama football today. What do I mean when I say March Madness? Well, we already talked about recruiting opening back up. Dead period. Dead. Gone. Now you're having some of the top prospects in all of high school football that will be funneling into Tuscaloosa. You're talking Caleb Cunningham. You're talking Juju Lewis. You're talking Deuce Knight. You're talking guys such as a CJ Wiley. I'd love it to get a David Sanders in for a visit, right? Like, you're talking some of the biggest names in all of high school football that will be making their way to Tuscaloosa starting in March. But you also have practice starting. And for so many of us, that means tidbits. That means for the first time, there's stuff to talk about. And I think we always need to begin spring with this statement right here. There's a fine line when it comes to spring practice information, ladies and gentlemen. Because rarely are battles won and lost totally in the spring. Though many fans and many of us would feel like that sometimes, but they can go a long ways into helping guys get up to speed. These spring practices go a long ways in helping guys get acclimated, getting the ball once again rolling. You see the trend here? March is about getting the ball rolling, and the ball is rolling very quickly. Very quickly. That they'd be attending practices. How awesome is that? That is awesome, Cynthia. That is awesome. Recruits in February be like, oh, I'm all about academics. I'm going to Notre Dame month out from signing day. I don't want to lose on the cold. You don't want to get scored in front. You don't want to get scored on in front of touchdown Jesus. You don't want that. I wouldn't want that either, to be fair. I wouldn't want someone catching a fade on me right in front of touchdown Jesus up there at Notre Dame. That'd be tragic. Absolutely tragic. But these Bamas go after, yeah, I bet that's coming, Jor. Jor says, need to see Bama go after Justice Fitzpatrick, Minka's younger bro. I have no doubt that's coming. Good morning, Kevin. But yes, Cynthia, I haven't seen the tweets, but I love that, right? It's a new age. But there are going to be a lot of position battles. And a cold in front. Yeah, that'd be some nasty work now, wouldn't it, Moon? That'd be nasty, nasty work. What year is Justice? Justice is going into his sophomore year. Justice is going in. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sophomore. 2026, Kevin. That's you're talking Justice Fitzpatrick. My brain switched from recruiting back to spring practices so quickly, and I saw Justice and instantly went to Justice Haynes. No, I apologize. Jor beat me to it. Jor's got you covered. As always, 2026 is Justice Fitzpatrick. That's my mistakes, Kevin. My mistakes. Brain went right back to roster brain from recruiting brain. But you're going to have a lot of interesting battles in the spring. And because of that, Alabama fans are going to be just trying to get any information they can. And what I would say to everybody is don't read too much into it, but don't read nothing into it, right? Like, there is a balancing act with spring that must occur. Don't read too much into it. But it's also interesting to note whenever players are doing really well, right? It's interesting to note. I remember hearing Nick Saban talk about the likes of a Kendrick Law whenever he first got there, being like, hey, the guy already knows how to work. The guy already knows, like, to be successful, you got to work. And to me, that was really intriguing to hear whenever he talked about Kendrick Law, because it's obvious, like, yeah, Kendrick Law is otherworldly talented, but to hear Coach Saban say, no, he's a true freshman who should still be in high school, who's already showing that he understands the process of how to be successful. That was interesting to me. That was one where I sat back in my chair and said, oh, in a world where Saban is always saying, create value for yourself, understand the process, now he is saying, oh, he understands the process. Now it's just about reps. Looking back, Kendrick Law, I think, is going to be a massive part of this team, but he's been a fantastic teammate. He has been a fantastic member of the Crimson Tide offense and a dangerous playmaker who many, including myself, only wanted to see him get more opportunities than he had last year. In my humble opinion, I thought we should have hit teams over the head with creative concepts involving Kendrick Law. I'm going to lull you to sleep, sending him in orbit motions all the time. And then right when you start thinking, they're not doing anything with Kendrick Law, I'm going to hit Kendrick Law when you least expect it. And like, I just think he is such a dangerous asset to any offense. And I think working with Shepard, his abilities are only going to increase, especially with the way this offense operates. But we did see some times of the offense last year with Tommy Rees using creativity and utilizing Kendrick Law successfully. That needed to happen more, in my opinion. More. I agree, Shane. I agree with this. Good morning, Rowan. Happy you're in here with us. Now I'm mad at Reese all over again. I didn't want to start out today mad. Yeah, it does happen like that. Good morning, Kareem. Happy you're here. Good morning, my man. It does happen like that. It was a little bit tragic, right? And seeing you go away from they're not going away from creativity. Not this staff. That's what they've cut their, that's what they've made their name on, as being a creative, intuitive offensive staff, and Wommack with the defense. So we're going to see that creativity this year. And that's where spring's going to be massive, ladies and gentlemen. You're having a new offense implemented. You're having a new defense implemented, though, and there's a lot of shared similarities between some of the basic theories of the defense, right? You're going to have your more nuanced things, but in a lot of ways, your defense is going to be... I haven't been as worried about some people, right? I've seen a lot of hesitation from people wondering how this defense is going to transition to a 4-2-5 swarm defense base. I haven't been someone who's been worried about that, because I think that, one, if you're going to be playing big boy college football in 2024, you know how to play nickel, right? You know how to play nickel. Your guys know what nickel defense is, right? It's way too of a pass happy league to not understand nickel concepts. Way too pass happy of a league. You have to. And especially when you start looking at how Nick Saban was viewing defensive backs all the way back in the 80s and 90s. You know that they're familiar with these sorts of things. So I'm very excited about the defensive switch. Do you think Wommack is ready for the SEC? It's going to be a big jump for him. I think he is. Adam. Thank you for the $10. Great question, by the way. I think he is, though there's only one way to find out. There's truly only one way to find out, and we're going to get the answer to that question. Now, I can only provide you my reasons as to why I think he is, and so the following reasons as to why I believe he is he had a top 25 defense in the nation, top 15. Yes, he was the head coach, but they were running his defense, right? The reason also is because he has been around the game of football. And that in and of itself doesn't guarantee you success, right? It'd be like if I came, my dad was a rancher, but Adam, you and I have talked long enough. You know that I always was looking at going into law school. It'd be like if I was in, say, New York, right? And my dad was a really well-known lawyer in New York. And then I went, graduated law school, and won a few cases on my own, not even tied to anything he did. But then you get me at one of these big New York firms, and it's like, okay, well, you grew up in this, right? Like you grew up understanding what these firms are. You saw your dad do it every day. And no, that doesn't guarantee you success, but then you went out and found success on your own. So you've grown up at this, you know what this looks like, you know what this looks like successfully, and you did it on your own. So I can't guarantee that he'll have success, but I do like the way he got here, the fact that he's familiar, the fact that he played. Yes, Kevin, he did play. Um, the fact that he gets to pick Kareem, you're right, because he gets to pick Saban's brain, and because he did so successfully at South Alabama, right? I think when you combine all of those factors, it really makes me excited. Really makes me excited. He was in the big 100%, Jor, 100%. Hood Jesus. Now, this is a great comment as well, right? I love this. He has SEC talent as well, though. And Hood, like that's like 100%. Right? Like that's the easiest way to answer the question is, well, he was successful there and now he has better players. So when you put together the totality of circumstances, the fact that he's grown up around the SEC, the fact that he's been a successful coach on his own, right? He went out and cut his own teeth. He did his own work. He didn't inherit his dad's job. But people in the SEC know the last name from his dad. And now they've seen him do his own work, be a head coach, find success. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. Very excited. I think it's a fair question, though. Good question. Thank you for the $10, Adam. Hacker had a good insight. I'm not worried about a 4.25. We ran that most of the time the last few years. I am curious as how we will make in-game adjustments. The only time with 100% Hacker. 100%. No doubt about that. Who is this kid on the screen? I think he's definitely ready. I think so too, Matt. I think so too. I think when you like Hood Jesus said he's got access to better players. He's familiar with this. He grew up in this. He found his own way. And that I think is an interesting combination. Having grown up in it, but not relying on that, like going out and proving, hey, I'm more than my father's son. I am my own brilliant football mind. But I also I grew up in this. So like I understand everything about this game because it's all I've ever known. That's Wommack, right? Like he is one of those guys where he found success on his own, but even outside of his own success, this is all he's ever known. High level football. That's it. That's it. And one thing I do love about your point, Hood Jesus, about the equitable talent now, or in terms of SEC talent, right? Like now he has SEC talent. This is the exact same point that they made on the Pat McAfee show. Whenever Pat McAfee, and I forget who else it was. Good morning, Travis. I think it was Butler, but they were talking about Kalen DeBoer, and Pat McAfee was making the joke because everybody was saying, "Oh, well, that guy, how do we know he's a good coach? He won all those games at the lower level." And Pat McAfee, whenever he was interviewing Kalen DeBoer, made the joke, "Oh, coach, those wins don't count for you. It's only that you were beating NAIA talent with equitable NAIA talent, coaching against other NAIA coaches with NAIA resources." Basically, what they were saying is they were making a joke out of how ridiculous it was for people to be saying those wins don't count. Because like Pat McAfee, like the other guy we're saying, football is football. He was winning in that division with equitable resources that everybody else had in that division, and he was still kicking butt. He goes to Washington. Equitable resources to Pac-12, he kicks butt. Everywhere he goes, he wins. And I do love that, Hood Jesus, because it kind of invokes that same theory, right? Where it's like, okay, well, if you give this guy equitable talent, he's going to win. And now you give him Alabama talent. Now you give him Alabama resources. Now you give him the backing of the Crimson Tide. What does that look like? And Pat McAfee was joking, like saying like, oh, those wins don't count, because he was making a mockery of all the fans saying this guy can't coach, or his record isn't really 104-12 because all of those came at Sioux Falls. And that doesn't count. I loved that former NFL players were like, that's ridiculous. Those games don't count. What are you talking about? Those games don't count. That to me was a massive win. And that's part of the reason why I love DeBoer. If he can continue, going on the Pat McAfee show, I would love it because it gives more access to him. It puts him on a very popular program that these young kids watch, and it allows us to get to know the coach better. And it kind of allowed Pat McAfee and other NFL players, former NFL players that McAfee had on that panel, to literally make jokes about people who were like, that doesn't count. They were like, what do you mean it doesn't count? It's not like he rolled into Sioux Falls with the 85 Bears and started dominating a bunch of teams at that level with something that was like, okay, you'd win a natty at the Power. No. He had the same level of talent everybody else had. He had the same resources. And he won. He gets to Washington. Same thing. He won. And now he comes to Alabama. And Matt, this is something that I talk about, right? And I think this does go into the March Madness. I want everybody in chat to think about this. We talk about how Alabama has to rebuild their secondary. And I know that that language may be strong, but if we're being objectively honest here, it's true. They do have to rebuild their secondary. You have one guy returning that was a starter. By any definition, that's a rebuild. Okay? Let's start there. However, and Matt and Undefeated, I do think that this is an incredibly important however. Name me another school out there that your brand new defensive coordinator, Wommack, your safeties coach, Hitchler, and your DB's coach, Mo Linguist, that they get to start with a rebuilded secondary where Kareem, like you said, the only guy you have that you're like, that has experience is Malachi Moore. That's a great place to start, by the way. That's a great place to start. Malachi Moore is an amazing place to start in rebuilding a secondary because he's versatile, he has a high football IQ, and he is highly motivated. That's not to even speak about his football abilities, which is clear. Like, we know what he can do on a football field. He's been doing it since he was a true freshman. Standing out on that defense from a true freshman, we know what he can do. But starting your rebuild with Malachi Moore, chef's kiss, right? Not many defensive backs coach. If I told a defensive coordinator, a safeties coach, and a DB coach, chat, you have to rebuild a secondary, they're not going to think that they have a healthy Malachi Moore, okay? They're also not going to be operating under the assumption that in a true freshman class, they now have 3 5-star defensive backs. Let me repeat that. You're a defensive coordinator, a defensive backs coach, a safeties coach, and I tell you, you have to rebuild your secondary. You just came here. You have one guy that returns in your secondary. That's it. One. Malachi Moore. Already, once I tell you the name, you're like, sweet. I'm already happy. But then I add on to the conversation and say, oh, hey, by the way, in your rebuild, you're going to have 3 5-star true freshman cornerbacks. A guy that was a top 5 player in all of high school football, in Damani Jackson, who just transferred in. By the way, you're also going to have a top 300 guy in Brayson Hubbard. You're going to have a former 5-star in Tony Mitchell, who ended up as a blue chip guy. You're also going to have another former 5-star in Jaleel Hurley, who ended up as a top 100 guy. I think pretty much every coach out there, if he said, that's the rebuild I have, he's going to shake your hand and run, thinking he just robbed you. If you said, that's the rebuild and the safety from Michigan, thank you, Josh, and the safety from Michigan, who, by the way, remember, Pro Football Focus, I know they catch a lot of heat. They are not the end-all, be-all. How I like to use Pro Football Focus is I will go and watch the game on the All-22. After I get done with the watch through, I have my notes, and then I pull up the advanced advanced data. And I'm like, does the data match with what my eyes saw? Were these guys who graded well flying off the screen? Or if I didn't notice someone who graded really well, do I need to go back? Was there something I missed? That's how I utilize the advanced metrics from Pro Football Focus or any of these sites, right? It's you watch the film, you get done, you look at the metrics. Does it add up with what the eye test told me, or did I miss something? And then we go back and we watch again. Caleb Downs was graded by Pro Football Focus as an 85.7. Sab, 82.3. And he didn't get the opportunity to grow as much as Caleb Downs did. He is a huge win. Thank you so much for that, Josh. That's your rebuild. Jor, you said it, man. Alabama's rebuild is better than what some teams are like I have in my secondary period. In fact, this is where it gets really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Mo Linguist was a head coach at Buffalo. He has 3 5-star true freshman defensive backs that just came in. He didn't have 3 5-stars on the entirety of Buffalo. Coach Hitzler at Wisconsin. You think he had 3 5-star defensive backs? You think he had 3 5-stars on that defense? Serious question here. Do you think he had 3 5-star? Kane Wommack from South Alabama. He has 5 stars everywhere. Keon Keeley, number 2 player in the nation. Yanze Pierre, Jeremiah Alexander, Quay Rousseau, James Smith, Damon Payne, Jahad Campbell. All the defensive backs. They didn't have that at South Alabama. So these coaches begin their rebuild with access to more talent in one room than some of them had in an entire roster if we're just looking at collection of blue chip guys. If we're just looking at a collection of blue chip guys. Coach Linguist, Coach Hitzler, they have more blue chip guys in one room at a percentage than they just had on their roster. If you're going to have a rebuild, don't you love it where you have a rebuild where you're like, listen, I don't know what the secondary is going to look like. I don't know who's going to be the starters, but I'm real excited to see it all play out. I am real excited because you have all of that talent back there. And I know I've had this conversation multiple times, but ladies and gentlemen, it is a conversation that I believe needs to be had multiple times. Moonrocker, you're 100% right, not to mention a head coach coaching defensive backs. And then the safeties coach, Coach Hitzler. I'm really interested about Coach Hitzler, ladies and gentlemen. There's a few hires that I've already wrote down, Poor English, I apologize. I've wrote down a few names of these hires, and I'm interested in seeing how they recruit, how their rooms look, because I think that there were a few hires made that might end up being great. Might end up being fantastic. Kevin beat me to it. If you're in here, go ahead and hit that like button. It's completely free to give a like. It's completely free to hit that subscribe button if you're not. And if you do want to become a fan funder, it helps us continue doing what we do here. It helps Kyle keep myself, Smook, Jay, Sean, Merrill, all active. And we really appreciate the support. But likes, comments, subscriptions, they're absolutely free. And they do mean a lot for content creators such as ourselves for the YouTube algorithm. So if you don't mind, just hit that like button. It means a lot to us. And we thank you for your time. We thank you for hanging out with us. All of our coaches have easier jobs than they've had before with a dramatic difference in talent, 100%. It's a bunch of former head coaches on this staff. Let's talk around the league for our last few minutes, right? We got 9 minutes left. Let's talk around the league. Because today, we talked about 2 prospects that I'm really interested in, both hailing from the state of Mississippi. We talked about Ackland Deer. We talked about Caleb Cunningham. Right? We talked about Ackland Deer. We talked about Caleb Cunningham. I feel like since we already talked about the state of Mississippi, it's a great place for us to break into the conversations about the teams in Mississippi that will be taking on the SEC this year. We're talking Mississippi State. We're talking Ole Miss. Light conversation. You guys already know. At my segment, because I do general college football content, I talk about all teams. we're going to be taking an in-depth look, or decently in-depth. It will continue ramping up in terms of how in-depth, at teams around the SEC. Of course, this is an Alabama channel, but we're all college football fans. We want to understand the teams Alabama will be playing. That way, when it gets to game day, if you want to go talk trash, you can do so because you know about the other opponent's squad. So, looking forward, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. And these are programs in very different places right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I do mean very different places. Let's look at how Mississippi State was able to recruit because they just got a brand new football coach in, Jeff Lebby. Now, Lebby has been forged in the fire of some great offensive minds, right? Lebby has been forged in the fire of some great offensive minds. He comes from two trees, primarily, having spent time with Lane Kiffin, but he's also in the Bryles tree. So that's what you can expect out of his offense, right? If you know what the Bryles offense entails, if you kind of have an understanding of that, that's what you can kind of expect from a Jeff Lebby. He just got done being the offensive coordinator for the Oklahoma Sooners, and now he makes his way as the head coach of Mississippi State. Now, Mississippi State is super interesting because of the passing of one Mike Leach. Rest in peace to Coach Leach. A true treasure, not only for SEC fans, but for college football fans. Right. You guys know I'm in the state of Texas, so a lot of my formidable years as a college football fan, Mike Leach was out at Texas Tech. You know, you had a deep appreciation for the man. So whenever Mississippi State transitioned after Mike Leach passed to Arnett, I was intrigued because the administration there had to know. They had to know. If you're going from an offensive theory that says, I'm not going to pass the ball almost, or I'm not going to run the ball almost ever in favor of passing, if you're going to transition from that to a pure pro style and a defensive minded head coach, you need to give him time. It's not going to be an easy transition going from the Leach offense to a pro style offense and a defensive minded team first. They didn't give Arnett time. Arnett's out. Will Rogers is out. So Jeff Lebby inherits a situation that was already a mess last year, and that wasn't Arnett's fault, right? I feel for Arnett. Because no, Mississippi State was not good last year. But like, how could they have been good? Genuinely speaking, how could they have been good? Like, it was always going to be an uphill battle, in my opinion. You had a lot to play for, but your schemes fundamentally changed from a night and day difference overnight. Like it was a total 180 in terms of theory of how we want to get our job done. And that was always going to take time. Jeff Lebby comes in. The reason why I do think it's interesting is he is a bit more in line with what Arnett inherited. And so I'm interested in seeing the Bryles offense. Isn't that what they run at Tennessee? Ooh, I know that it is a formation of that veer and shoot that they run out there at Tennessee. But I don't know, actually, I don't know as much about whether or not Heupel ever was with Bryles, but I do know that there are some similarities. It's if I'm not mistaken, just like a basic veer and shoot style concept. Or am I thinking of someone else's offense? Let me look in my notes because I have all this. Yeah, it's a variation of a veer and shoot. Heupel is a variation of a veer and shoot. It's not like a traditional one, but it's an offshoot of a veer and shoot based offense. So there will be some similarities, right? There will be some similarities about attacking deep. So Mississippi State's going to be a team to watch, but the reason why I bring up Mississippi State, ladies and gentlemen, when I say a team to watch, I don't mean in terms of pressing for the SEC. Not what I mean. I mean, if you're a fan of football, watch them because there's a ton of questions, and you all in the undefeated know me. I love questions. You give me a team full of questions, I'll show you a team I'm going to be watching real closely because I want to answer questions. It's my favorite thing. Trying to find answers to questions. Mississippi State is full of questions. Let's move to Ole Miss, because this is a bit more of an interesting conversation. As I stated, your two teams in the state of Mississippi are at polar opposite ends of the spectrum. One of them is genuinely doing a rebuild, because I don't like the whole Arnett phase is just wild to me. We'll unpack that at a later date, right? It's just wild to me. Good morning, John. But then we look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss won 10 games last year. Only lost 2 games. Bama and Georgia. If you're going to lose 2 games, lose to those 2 teams. Lose to those 2 teams. They return a lot of talent. Yes, they lose Judkins, but let's be honest, they had a powerful running game outside of Judkins. Right? They had a lot of options in that running game outside of Judkins. So that is a loss, but they still have answers. And they did a lot of work in the transfer portal. So Ole Miss, if you're saying, hey, what's a team to watch that could make moves in the SEC? Ole Miss. Now, here's my big question, though. How much of the transfer portal can you use as a Band-Aid as opposed to this is how I'm going to build a roster year in, year out? And if that seems like an arbitrary question to ask, understand that it's not. Listen, if you're in the middle of a rebuild, like Jeff Lebby is, or like Coach Prime was out at Colorado, and you say, I'm going to do a heavy dosage of the transfer portal, I get that. I can understand in the middle of a rebuild because it's like, hey, I need talent now. If I'm Coach Prime, I just inherited a team that won 1 game. I need talent now. And the talent that was on this team, I'm getting paid to win football games. They weren't winning football games. I need talent now. I get that. I understand whenever you're in the middle of a rebuild. But can you do that extensively? Can you use that to supplement recruiting and win a national championship? I don't know the answer to that yet. I would lean on no. And the reason why I would lean on no, that I don't know that you're going to be able to, in our current capacity, build through the transfer portal, and that's where you do your formidable recruiting and win a national championship, is because relationships are huge in football, in recruiting, and all of these things. Relationships are huge. And the one thing we talk about in the transfer portal all the time is you're trying to find an intersectionality of a few qualities within the transfer portal. What is that intersectionality? You want experience, but not all experience is created equal. You want good experience, but you don't want the guy to only have 1 year left. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can get in an absolute baller that only has 1 year left, you do it. But in a perfect world, you get someone with positive experience and a ton of eligibility left. Ring any bells? Parker Brailsford, Keon Sapp. They both have eligibility. They both have positive experience. That's the winning combination that you're looking for, in my opinion, in the transfer portal, is the intersectionality of positive experience and eligibility. But whenever you stack and create an entire team by doing that, well, now you don't have your defensive line gelling as well. You don't have your offensive line gelling as well. You don't have the ability to gel as well because on other teams, these guys have been next to each other for 3 years, 4 years, 2 years. Here, it's a few months. But that being said, there is no denying that Ole Miss is going to feature a very talented team this year. If we look at what they did in the transfer portal, it is notable. It is very notable. In the transfer portal, they racked up a haul. If I'm not mistaken, didn't they have the number 1 transfer portal class? Let's check it out. So for 2024, Ole Miss had the number 1 transfer portal ranked class with 17 guys in the class. They brought in 17 guys in the class. That's wild. Now, they lost 16 guys, but they're bringing in guys such as Key Lawrence, right, who is a former Tennessee Volunteer, played at Oklahoma, now comes back. You get Trey Amos from Alabama. You get some of the Washington linemen as well. Bulow, Kalepo. You get a Michigan cornerback going over there. You get Logan Diggs, the running back from LSU. Princely Umam, and I'm going to butcher that last name, but Princely from Florida. We already talked about Antoine Wells, Brandon Turnage, Walter Nolan. I mean, they got a lot of talent from the transfer portal. Kyle, my man, I apologize. I was on 24/7 Sports' website and just came back over to this. How you doing, my man?
What's up, man? 24/7. So you have all your recruiting sites, right? You have Bama Online underneath On3. You have Rivals and Tide Illustrated, and then you have 24/7, right? So many talented reporters in these spaces. And like today, you'll get an opportunity to kind of see a small handful of the reporters. There'll probably be like, I would say 35 reporters there today. I mean, it's Coach Kalen DeBoer's first press conference, maybe more than that. But on Wednesday, I would venture to say that there's going to be at least 100 at least reporters overall. That kind of just shows you the amount of volume that covers Alabama football. It's amazing. And by the way, they 24/7 just hired Alex Scarborough. Worked for ESPN, is from this area, so good pickup for them. I know that On3 is probably winning that space overall, but I thought that was a really good addition to their staff. I think that I'm most excited to see from spring football, from the Alabama standpoint, is just kind of the intensity. I want to see how this new coaching staff operates. I honestly feel that there's going to be a lot of intensity because this team has a chip on their shoulder. You look at way too early SEC rankings, and just like you were talking about Ole Miss, who cleaned up in the portal for sure. Like these teams are expected to be better than Alabama, right? I don't know. I mean, Georgia is still loaded. Ole Miss did a great job in the transfer portal. Texas is coming over with their loaded arsenal. But I if I'm Kalen DeBoer, I use all that stuff as kind of reverse rat poison. But yeah, I'm excited to see kind of the opening message and to get to hear from Coach at the podium. It's going to be really different to hear from Coach Kalen. You know what I'm saying? Like we've had he's done a bunch of media availabilities, but this is the first one where you're like, okay, like it's different with him at the podium. Coke bottle. Is Cedric still going to put up the Coke bottle? I don't know. I'm excited to see it though today.
Exactly. And Ole Miss, man, people in chat already keying in. They're like, hey, Ole Miss's problem isn't offense, it's defense. Will that be fixed?
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought this about Lane. I really like Lane. Lane coaches with ego, in my opinion, as opposed to coaching to win. And really last year, that Alabama game kind of cemented that thought process for me. Because there were things that they were doing very successfully before they played Alabama. And they just kind of tried to do a variation of a few different things when they played Bama. And it wasn't working. But it felt to me like Kiffin was more concerned with proving no, what I want to do will work against you instead of winning a football game or attempting to win a football game. And so can they get out of that mindset, right? That's going to be something I'm interested in seeing. But Josh is right. Perkins is a monster. Would have loved to have had him on the Crimson Tide.
Yeah. And I mean, now, with their defensive coordinator being Pete Golding, it's something that Alabama fans like to play off of. And still mad at, a lot of fans are still mad at him and feel that he was a reason that Alabama didn't, haul in a couple titles considering the talent that he had here. But I don't know. I mean, can you point it to one coach? Can you point it to one player? I mean, can you put all the blame on, Seth from last year? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Said we'll probably stick around with Saban. He is trusted. Yeah, what's up, OG? I see you inside the comment box, man. I don't know. I'm curious to see because how it usually works for the podium is Cedric pops in, puts the bottle in, and then that's kind of it. So I don't know. Waiting to see that. Ty, you great
milk
segment.
Down
man.
if it's a Pepsi bottle this time.
Brian's like, I remember when Kyle liked Pete Golding. Did I? Is there a time that me and Pete liked each other? Pete, truth be told, Pete didn't live too far from me. Lived up here, and would always head over to the R&R Cigar Mansion. That's where a lot of the coaches like. So a lot of the coaches like to go there because you can get individual rooms to like have a cigar and like post up and just chill. It's a really good place. And Reagan Starner, who owns a cigar mansion, I mean, he's pretty dialed in because the coaches go there and they just like to chill. The thing I did like about Pete Golding was kind of like his mind for defense. Now, I don't know if that's translated to like actual players, but man, like Coach Saban loved him. He loved him to death, and I'm sure he still does. And he like just hearing Pete talk about the defense, he was so excited. But I think it was time for him to go. Probably, a season or two too late. Coach Saban tries to always get somebody, seated at a different place, and he's always done that. He never like fires somebody. They always like find another job for somebody. And I thought Pete was, I think he, with him having ties to Ole Miss, I think his wife went from is from Ole Miss, so it makes sense that he went back to Mississippi. He was from Delta State. Yeah, Gary. Yes, we are. Probably a lot of questions. I'll answer a lot of questions that you guys have about spring practice and anything like you have behind the scenes. So yeah, we are covering practice today. Today is a closed media availability. So what that means, and there's a press conference. So I'll spell it out the best way I can. The press conference will be right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We will stream the press conference. We'll also upload it as well. That will be taking place from around 5:15 to 6. There is no like set time. It just happens. So our plan is to go live before that. Smook and I, as well as Taylor, will be at the Malmore facility. Okay, we will be streaming. On Tuesday, there's no practice, and on Wednesday, there's an open media practice. So what that means is for the first time since 2019, the media, 150 media members get to go. So we're all going to go out and we get to watch a segmented amount of practice. But I think we can film everything besides 11 on 11. I don't think we can stay there the whole time. So we will be able to upload practice footage like from our cameras. None of this like 3 minutes of B-roll. So we'll be able to upload that, be able to discuss that as well. And then how it works after practice for the first time ever is there'll be breakout practice interviews. So what that means is practice will end and we'll be outside if weather permitting, and they'll separate the defensive coaches. Like let's say we get 2 of them that day, and they'll bring out 2 defensive players, and they'll have them around, and you just they'll be like, okay, you have 15 minutes with these coaches. So the more reporters that you have on staff, so like T will be with like, for example, Kane Wommack. I will be with Deontay Lawson, and Smook will be with, I don't know, Maurice Lindquist. And you kind of rotate in that fashion. And then we will upload all of those interviews right here to Bama Football on YouTube. So that is how everything works. So today will be press conference and kind of reaction. Wednesday will be kind of a sea of news. On Friday, you will have an opportunity that will just be interviews. So we'll go at the end of practice, we'll interview the coaches, and we'll bring all that right here to Bama Football on YouTube. So that's kind of how it works. And then Saturday, there's prospects in town. We can't see any prospects. And then they go on spring break as a whole, everybody does. T and I are going to the beach, but we'll still have the show. And then they will pick up again on March 19th with practice, which is closed. But then on the 20th, there's pro day. So we will keep you posted on all that right here at Bama Football on YouTube. So tons of coverage coming your way right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I'm sure like a lot of people have questions about how practice will work or the different media opportunities. So go ahead and just post that, any of those questions, and I'll be transparent with you as I can if I know something. Because, this is now the 8th season I've been covering Alabama football, like right here from Tuscaloosa. So Smook and I are having a team meeting today at 12 to kind of go over stuff. And then, 5 or whatever will be, 4:30 is when we'll check into Malmore. So, Ty, before you split out, and T, can you put the call line up? I appreciate you. T, what's up?
Hello, Undefeated. Hope you're having a good Monday. And hello, Ty.
Hello.
Um, Ty, before you bounce out, like, don't you feel from like a recruiting standpoint, this is just a huge opportunity for Coach Kalen DeBoer to kind of showcase like his staff on his home turf. Like now, like the program is now his. I think when he first got here and things were like moving and they had a small junior day or whatever, it wasn't. He hasn't really had time to settle. Now he's had time. I mean, how big is this first kind of recruiting weekend for Coach Kalen DeBoer with practice going on?
Huge, huge. And it was the fact that it's all getting started at the beginning of March. Because, Kyle, we talked about this. I think everybody over here was bullish that Coleman would end up back in Alabama's class. However, Smook called it on the head where he was real bullish that it was coming sooner rather than later, right? I figured Coleman would flip back to Alabama in like April, May. I mean, once the ball got rolling. But the fact that you get to start off spring practice with a big win for a top 100 prospect in the nation, Kyle, there's a trend out there right now. It's the reason why you'll see videos of women getting trampled at Target for Stanley Cups, and it's the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
And the fear of missing out is always very powerful. And right now, you have a brand new staff in Tuscaloosa that has gotten the attention of Ryan Williams. They've gotten the attention of Antonio Coleman.
Yeah.
You have Juju Lewis interested. All these guys, they want to hear what this pitch is about. I think March is going to treat Alabama very well.
Yeah, I do too. I can't wait to see it. And it's way too early for, these prospects are going to commit and then decommit and things like that. And hey, Jesus Christ. All right. I can't wait to kind of dive into it. So really excited about what they have in store. And, I appreciate, your segment, Ty. You always do such a great job right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So appreciate you being here, man. And let's do it, man. We'll get to my segment, man. So love the topics. Love the segment, Ty. You crush it, man. Please support Ty. He has Around the Table Sports. Does a really great job. Up and coming YouTuber. And please support him like you guys support me. Does a great job. Ty, we'll be in touch, man. You do a great job, man. And we'll catch up with you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you as always for the opportunity and allowing me to have this opportunity undefeated. I will see you guys tomorrow. Kyle, I'll see you tomorrow. I look forward to our transition periods now where we get to kind of wrap it up, talk it up. It's always a great time. But everybody run the likes up. As always, Kyle's going to have you covered, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Until next time, roll Tide.
Yep. That was Ty Hayes, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate Ty being here and you guys supporting Ty right here on Bama Football on YouTube. My name is Kyle Henderson, and right now it is spring football. So spring football is here. This will be the first spring football for Alabama football practice. Run the thumbs up on all these videos. We appreciate you guys being here and supporting. Ty Hayes does a really good job batting leadoff for us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Today is the first practice for Alabama football. Today on the show, what I'm going to talk about, as well as taking your calls at 205-850-1994, is my biggest questions going into spring practice. I think when you look to this team overall, like, don't get it twisted. Don't sleep on this team. Don't feel that this team is going to be any more vulnerable than they've been in the past. Like, they're not going to be. This is going to be a championship style team. You look to what Coach Kalen DeBoer has been able to do years past at Alabama or years past at other places. I mean, he's a winner. And I think when he brought on this staff, the staff comes in here and they have a lot to prove, right? This isn't Washington. This isn't Sioux Falls. This isn't Fresno. This isn't Indiana. This isn't Buffalo. This isn't South Alabama. This is Alabama Crimson Tide. So one of the great things about this coaching staff that I've been hearing on all these interviews that they've been able to do is be able to talk about the fact that they understand where they are in terms of the standard and understanding that the foundation is set. They're not trying to bulldoze the foundation and redo something. They're trying to add on to it and take this program to where it needs to go. So I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see this program where it goes. It's starting today. It starts today. And I think Coach DeBoer really understands where he's at and that he has accomplished, little. With that said, on the flip side, you could argue, actually, Coach, he seems like a pretty humble guy, to be honest. Lisa, what's up? I see you in the comment box. We'll get to you in just a second. But you could argue you've actually done a lot since you've been here in such a small amount of time. T, stay with me. And T, say what's up. We appreciate you.
Hello, Undefeated. Again, good morning.
One of the things I was thinking about within these can we look up the day Coach Kalen DeBoer has been hired? How many days has it been? Has it been 50 days yet? All right. So think about this. He's actually accomplished quite a bit. He's put together a really good coaching staff, right? I think he did a really good job in terms of, talking to the recruits and not only utilizing the transfer portal effectively from the jump. Think about the guys that he brought in from the transfer portal, right? All guys that are going to be filling needs, right? January 12th. So how many days? So you could just type in how many days since January 12th. But I think also from the recruiting standpoint on the back end, the class of 2024, he did a pretty good job. I mean, Austin Mack, I know he reclassified, but I like him as a quarterback. Ryan Williams, that was a hell of a grab. How many days has it been, T? Oh, we're still trying to find out. And then on top of that, you get Noah Carter, right? So all of those guys were kind of the cap end of 2024, and then utilizing the transfer portal, what he did, adding the coaching staff. And look, the coaching staff is young and they're unproven for the most part, but it's been 52 days. He's done a lot in 52 days. And now lining a flip in Antonio Coleman from Auburn, that's another stab at Auburn. So in my opinion, understanding in-state talent and working those relationships, I think that speaks volumes. Freddie Roach, Kane Wommack, pressing in, and you get Antonio Coleman, from Auburn. I love it. I love the class of 2025. And I'm not one of those guys that gets too hyped up on all these class of 2025 guys because it's still way too early. We're in March, so I still think they're going to decommit, recommit, announce their top 12, announce their top 6. I go over that all the time. But for the time being, I think it bodes well. And I think this is an opportunity this coming weekend to showcase that ability overall and how you do as a coaching staff. Showcase, look, this is our plan. This is our vision board. This is where we want to go. You see what Dallas Turner did in the NFL Combine. You see what Jermaine Burton did in the NFL Combine. This is the standard. This is where we are going to go. So when you look to the team today, I want to see tempo. I want to see intensity. I want to see hunger. I want to see this team really dialed in. And I think for the most part, fans get it. They're like, all right, look, Coach Saban, he's still kind of around. He hasn't just vanished. I mean, he's at every single big media opportunity there is. I wouldn't be surprised if he's there today. Seriously. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Saban, maybe he's not in the podium, but he's in the back end.
Podium. That would be funny.
Right? He's just on the side like
no,
this.
I can see that for sure.
No, I mean, look, Coach Saban's still around.
Yeah, I mean, he still has the office there. So
yeah, he has the office there. He's doing ESPN. He's running college football, right? He's playing golf. I mean, he looks the best he's ever looked.
Yeah.
Right? Is he taking like the aloe challenge?
Yeah, right. He's doing some.
Does he look better right now than he did
like ever?
And you know what? That says a lot about him as a man having self-awareness.
Mm-hmm. He needed to step back.
He needed to step back. And I think that's really important because sometimes when you talk about self-awareness, you're like, where am I? How am I feeling? Do I need to push myself? Do I need to chill? Do I need to rest? And I think that's pretty alpha to have self-awareness.
Yeah, it really is. And it's hard for a man in that kind of position, like of power, right? To be able to say, okay, I have this much control over, this high level of, a team. And it's time for me to take a step back.
It's actually
a big move.
Hell yeah. And it's admirable.
Yeah, it is.
Right? To be able to be like, look, I need to peel back just a second because number one, I need to rest a little bit. Need to play a little bit more golf, but also I need to focus on something that is bigger than my program, which is college football. And I think right now you're seeing him kind of like shaking hands and stuff like that. I think it's kind of like the early primary. He's about to go on this massive run to fix college football.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. We have a call coming in. It's a 256. Let's take it. 1 second, please. 1 second. Al Henderson, who I'm aligned with, and where are you calling in from?
This is Daryl from Huntsville.
Hey, what's up, Coach? I hope you had a good birthday overall. It was March 2nd. Appreciate you joining us this morning on the show right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Coach Darrell calling in from Huntsville. Coach, when we look to spring football and we start to look at Coach Kalen DeBoer and his coaching staff, what are some themes that you're looking forward to kind of during this early first week of spring football practice, Coach?
I'm looking for the line, defensive line, offensive line. Because that's where we're going to win, in the trenches. And there's you can have the best cornerback in the world, if they can't get pressure on the quarterback, get him off his spot, doesn't do you much good. So I'm looking to see how the defensive line is going to improve. They were decent last year. They weren't great, in my opinion. And I definitely want to see how the offensive line is going to improve. Are they going to be a mash and grind unit? Or are they going to be a technical unit with technique and running zones or whatever? Are they going to be a combination of both? Mm-hmm. So that's what I want to see. And I also want to see the receivers. I want to see the receivers. Let's see what we got. Let's see, we got some explosive people. Let's see, we got some people that can eat up yardage. Let's see, we got some people that can take the top off of the defense. And I want to see that. And of course, I want to see the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Let's even though Miro is the presumed starter, and he deserves that. Let's see what everybody else has got. I want to see it. I want to see what did Ty Simpson improve, because when we saw him in the Kentucky game, he looked a whole lot different than he did from the South Florida game. He looked confident. He looked his ability to throw the ball with zip and with precision and know what he was doing. He looked like he knew what he was doing. I want to see, was that a fluke or was that just a one-time thing? I want to see it. So there's a lot of things we got to look at, because again, people are like I said, the barbarians are at the gate. They've seen us. As they said, the king is dead. Long live the king! But they are chomping at the bit to see: are we really gonna be Alabama? Are we gonna fall back to where we were before Saban got here?
Yeah, I think everybody, when you kind of look to Alabama, people are like looking like this team. Kind of at the beginning of last year, too, I felt that people felt that Alabama was vulnerable, that Coach Saban has lost his fastball, whatever, and then Alabama comes out after that Week 2 game and, gets all the way to the playoffs. I don't think the standard has left this place, and this is a good opportunity for these coaches to show that, yeah, there might be a little bit of regentrification, but we understand where we're at, and we have the players, most importantly, to win the game. Coach, when you look to kind of freshmen, and I know we've been breaking down players all before we entered spring practice, give like two players that you're, maybe like three players that you're interested to see kind of their development during the spring practice.
I want to see I love to see the freshman receivers, and I would love to see Hale see, is he ready to take the next step? Because everybody always says that he is a star in the making. I also want to see the freshman linebackers. I want to see them because again, everybody talks the game. He's this and he's that. He's going to be, but we really don't know till we get you on the field and we test your mettle. We see. I like what Coach Saban said in one of his talks. What does it take to break you? What does it take to break you? Are you going to quit because you're overheated, or in spring practice, or you get frustrated, or you get covered a couple of times and get swallowed up by a good defensive back? What does it take to break you? And I think if we can get to that point, it's going to be roll tide.
Yep.
And people are not. People are again. They're sitting there. They're giving us these underhanded compliments. They can't wait to see us see if we've fallen. Because that fourth game against Georgia, that, like you said, that'll be the mark right there.
Yeah.
Because Georgia has plenty of talent coming back. I promise you that.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Coach Dale. Thank you very much for leading off the show. We appreciate you, man. I hope you had a really good birthday weekend, and please call again.
You had a great birthday weekend.
Call again throughout the week, man. We appreciate you and hope full moon.
And let me say this real quickly. Mm-hmm. It's DARRYL. Thank you, Kyle.
All right, cool. Thanks, Coach Dale. Appreciate you, man. We'll get the spelling updated for you, Coach. All right, Coach Dale calling in. We appreciate you guys. Calling line highlighted at the bottom of the screen, 205-850-1994. Special thanks to our sponsor, Residence Inn in Ocean City, Maryland. Promo code is LPR, up to 20% off. That's the promo code again. For Bama fans, it is LPR, Residence Inn in Ocean City, Maryland. Also, sponsor message from RogueShop.com. Promo code is Bama, legal CBD, and much more. I personally like the topical cream. It's good for the back. I like the workouts, and I got the workout in this morning as well. I'm lifting heavy right now, so I like to lift heavy during the springtime, and then I like to run like a really fast mile on top of that. So if I'm not working out with the guys, I'm working out here. I got like a little home gym that I work out in, a lot of deadlift and a lot of cleans, and got the workout in this morning. So feeling good. Have to have that energy. I couldn't even really sleep that well last night because I was honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this new opportunity. Merton's asking about Merrill. Do we have an update on Merrill?
He's going to get back to us this week.
Yeah.
So he's having some family things that he needs to figure out and where he's going to be working from this week. But he is definitely coming back. So
yeah. So we'll have Merrill back in the queue this week, hopefully, because he does such a great job. So we love having him here. So right now you have the schedule today. You had Ty leading off at 8. I'm here at 9. You have Coach Smook. We will then go kind of on maintenance and get ready for the back end as well. And Kevin's talking about CBD. And Kevin's actually an adaptive athlete. So he was saying yesterday, Kevin, that he's Kevin, help us out. What is it?
I think he said he was an above the knee amputee.
That's what he said.
An adapted athlete. But you know what, Kevin, my dad actually is also an above the knee amputee, and he is a big advocate of CBD for any kind of like phantom pain or just like residual, any kind of pain from that amputation. So it works amazingly well for him. So you should check out their products
Yeah, so you can go to rogueshop.com. The promo code is Bama legal CBD. I think we need to get like 8 people to buy from them, something like that. So try them out.
And you know what? If you have any questions, they are there on the website pretty much 24 hours, and you can sort of tell them the symptoms you're having, and they can tailor exactly like what would work best for you.
For example, like I'm not like, I mean, I'll be honest, like I don't smoke weed, but I do like, and I don't do like the gummies and stuff like that. Some people do. I never judge you for doing any of that. But like for me, I told Rogue Shop, I was like, I specifically like a topical, something for like my back or like my feet after my workout. So they like literally like helped me get that. So check them out, rogueshop.com. Promo is Bama, legal CBD, and more. I don't have a problem sleeping. I'm I'm so amped up during the day that I literally fall asleep in like 2 seconds. So not a big deal for me. So T's laughing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's an art how fast you can fall asleep.
They do have stuff for pets.
Yeah, I think they do.
You have to check it out.
Yeah, they have. I mean, like if you can think of it, they'll have it at the shop. So definitely check them out. They're great. They make everything themselves. And like I said, you tell them your symptoms, and they will work with you on what will work best for what's going on. So
yeah, appreciate you. So kind of just here recapping, kind of our thoughts, kind of going in. Because you're Latin, Kyle. Going into spring football. And these are some of the questions that I had up. You can see the call-in line at the bottom of the screen if you want to call in. Looks like we have another caller. It's a 228. We'll take that in just a second. But offensive questions, defensive questions. and special teams questions. I think I'll kind of go to number 3, kind of jump around this real quick, because sometimes I think when we talk about Alabama football, sometimes we forget to talk about the special teams and how critical of a component it is. Now you have Jay Nunez, who is coming to Alabama from Oklahoma, working with the special teams, and you walk in and you're like, okay, what are the special teams components that I have here? And when you quickly look to the kicker position, you see that you have Connor Talty. He has the job of taking over for Will Riker, who's the all-time leading college football scorer, like ever, which is a daunting task to come in. We saw him spot play last year. He actually had a tackle. So excited to see his kind of progress and what he's done this spring. How effective can special teams be? Critical component of the team, clearly. Behind him, write this down. This will be Tucker Cornelius. T, can you spell Cornelius off the top? Is that? Should we add that to our spell?
Cornelius.
There you go. You passed. Okay, you're going to round 2, which will be Olas
Alanin.
So
Alinen.
Dang, you're 2 for 2. Okay. And when you look to the punter situation, I think you come in and Alabama's absolutely loaded, right? Thumbs up, undefeated. If you feel, if you're excited about James Burnap coming back. James Burnham, I think, is the next best kicker after J.K. Scott. So, like, J.K. Scott, he was here. He was, like, automatic. Kind of same thing as, like, Will Riker. Like, Will Riker's going to be the GOAT, right? Him and the Tiffins, clearly. But when you have James Burnham coming back, you feel confident when Alabama goes out from a punting standpoint. Just did a really good job. And I thought that he got better throughout the entire season. And I think he's going to be peaking at the right time for this coming year. So when you're looking at who's going to return kicks, who's going to return punts, who's going to be your snapper, who's going to be your holder, those are kind of the other positions that we're not too sure about. I think when you look to a kick returner or a punt returner, you can start really anywhere at a kick returner. Is it going to be Jeremy Bernard, who transferred in from Washington? He did it last year at Washington. I think he had over 700 all-purpose yards. Bigger type dude, 6'2", 200 pounds, kind of similar to what Kendrick Law was. For me, I always liked a player that returns kicks to have a lot of speed, a guy that can break a kickoff. We've talked about this before many times. We're talking about point 3 right now. I'll get to my call in just a second about the special teams play, and we've talked about this. Who was the last player at Alabama? This is trivia for you. One more time, undefeated. I always ask you trivia questions without looking it up. Who was the last guy to return a kick for a touchdown for Alabama? The last guy to return a kick for Alabama. I'll take my next call, and we'll start right now with the 228. Hey, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Kyle from Biloxi.
Kyle.
It's Bama fan 95 in the chat.
Hey, what's up, Kyle? Kyle, recognize Kyle. It's like that gif of like the Spider-Man shooting the other Spider-Man. Welcome on in from Biloxi, man. I appreciate you joining the show, man. It's spring football's here. Take it away, man. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, yes, sir. Just to get to your point earlier about everybody wanting to see how Alabama does and watch this fail and whatnot, I hopped in an Auburn chat last night because you weren't live, and a caller brought up a good point. He said if Kalen DeBoer comes in and does, kind of what Nick Saban does, wins, does that diminish what Nick Saban has done at Alabama? Which I don't think it does.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, all they were talking about was Alabama and Kalen DeBoer in an Auburn chat, of course. And I saw a lady that is in our chat, saying War Eagle. So I go in there saying Roll Tide. And of course, she's like, get out of our chat. And it's just funny because we could say the same thing to her, get out of our chat. But it was just funny. I hopped in there just to see what they were talking about. And, of course, they were on Kalen DeBoer and Alabama. But, yeah, it was just funny.
I think if you're an Auburn fan, you're certainly curious about what's going on at Alabama post Coach Saban, and I think you're hoping that you see the downfall come. But I think what makes you nervous about Coach Kalen DeBoer coming in is two things, and we already talked about it from a recruiting standpoint, right? You get Ryan Williams and you get Antonio Coleman to flip. So I haven't been over to their message boards. I'm good friends with Jay Tate, who runs the Bunker at Auburn. I've helped him out with his YouTube show a time or two, and he does a really good job. So I haven't cruised over to the Bunker to kind of see the fallout after Antonio Coleman flipped from Auburn to Alabama. But I think when you look to Alabama, if you're Auburn, you're worried some, right? You're like, man, I don't think this guy lost a lot of momentum. And I don't think like whatever type of success that Kalen DeBoer has from the jump, or I mean, I don't think it diminishes anything that Saban's done. I mean, he is clearly the greatest to ever do it, and that's no disrespect to Bear Bryant or to anyone in the past. Like, it's just, that's facts. Like, I think we just have to recognize that he is greatness, and what he did at Alabama will never be done again, no matter wherever it is in college football. So people will just kind of continue to lose sleep on that. I mean, Saban beat everybody. That's why, and that oddly enough helped him to get to the position that he's at based on his overall success against everybody. What else you got, Kyle? Kyle calling in from Biloxi. Go ahead, man.
Oh, man, that was about it, man. I remember I was asking you if you've ever been down here. But, man, if y'all get a chance to come check out the coast, man, we got all the casinos, the beaches. It's beautiful down here. And I love to meet up with you for UNA Day and meet the undefeated.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you, Kyle, and call again next time, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
You too, man. All right, Kyle calling in from Biloxi. No, you know what? I still have not been to Biloxi, Mississippi. I definitely want to check it out. Honestly, I love to, I always talk about my travels and the places that I've been. By the way, Undefeated, I was asking, the trivia question was about kick returner, not punt returner. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. No, I still haven't been to Biloxi. I want to go check it out. I'm going to play in a golf tournament. Believe it or not, you're like, what? You have time to go? I haven't even played golf, so I'm just gonna show up to this golf tournament. And I've gone to the driving range like a couple times, and I need to go a little bit more, but it's all putting. Honestly, like, I'm comfortable with my drive. I'm comfortable with, my irons, my wedges, but it's all putting. No, I'm not. Honestly, I don't really gamble. I do like to do DraftKings like during the football season, but I don't really gamble that much. But I do like to play golf. And, well, actually, I will bet on golf. Like, I'll play on, like, skins games and, like, head-to-head. I love competition. That's why, like, I love competitive sports. I was talking about T. I was talking to T yesterday. I was like, look, like, golf is, something that is, like, I'm passionate about it. Not to, like, just get away and to, like, drink. I don't even really drink out there. Maybe, like, a Fireball or whatever. But I like to just compete. So, like, the tournaments, I'd rather play in, like, tournament golf than, like, leisurely golf, just because I like the competitive stuff. I love to compete in literally every single sport. The more competitiveness, like, the better. That's why I like working out in this workout group, because you're, like, competing. I'm, like, trying to do more push-ups or whatever. I just like to compete. But I still haven't been to Biloxi. Call line is open, 205-850-1994. When you go back to question number 1, and I think the Undefeated got it. I think it was Jamison Williams to return a punt or a kick, right?
Yep.
Caleb Downs did it last year, his first punt return against Mercer, right? That's when everybody was calling for Kool-Aid. And you put Caleb down there one time and he returns a kick to the house. That was crazy. Brian, thank you so much. And I think a couple other people got it inside the Undefeated. I think when you go up to point number 1, if you want to call in, I'll be here until 10. And then you got Coach Smook following me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. We appreciate the super chats. And, of course, you becoming fan funders. Patriot Life donated 5 fan funders to everyone right here at Bama Football on YouTube. What does that mean? You get access to special emojis. You get access to exclusive videos. We always post videos, but you get like literally 12 to 15 hours ahead of time. And we're going to be doing much more videos for exclusive members now that we actually have footage to work with. Good morning again to Hell with Auburn. I love this. Hell with Auburn. It's his birthday. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, he got a birthday present with Antonio Coleman flipping from Auburn to Alabama. And then once again, thank you to Adam for the $10 super chat. And he's like, do you think Wommack is ready for the SEC? It's going to be a big jump for him. I think it's going to be a big jump for all of these guys. I mean, just because you had success at Washington or Fresno, Indiana, Sioux Falls, whatever, it doesn't translate to the SEC. I can't wait to see the mindset of these guys and kind of their faces, honestly, when you get to that first game. A-Day will give you a taste of it. But look, I mean, that first game against Georgia, when Georgia comes here, you'll understand it. And then when you go on on the road for big SEC games, you'll understand it. Going to Baton Rouge, going to Tennessee, going to now Oklahoma, right? hosting Auburn. There's just a different feel to all of those games. So yeah, I do like the fact that Kane Wommack said that the fact that these guys already know each other, so they already know who the alpha is. You already know how much you can press somebody that you've already coached with. You understand the terminology, how to work with each other. Wommack has worked before with Coach Kalen DeBoer, and I like the fact that Nick Sheridan. It's a hell of a jump for him too. Imagine me the tight ends coach at Washington and now coming as the offensive coordinator. But sometimes these guys just step up and ready for the task. Or otherwise, Coach Kalen DeBoer wouldn't put him as OC, him and Jamarcus Shep. So I want to see what these guys do before I make any type of assessments. But kind of looking back, I felt that the stage was too large for Tommy Rees. I mean, it's different here at Alabama. I mean, look at the quarterback that you have in Jalen Milroe. I get it. Michael Penix Jr., he's been doing fantastic. But look, this is your quarterback right here at the University of Alabama. It looks like they've already fixed his throwing motion. He's got muscles on muscles, right? And if you're wondering, does he have enough muscles to carry the team on his back? I think this image says that right there, right, T?
Yeah, for sure.
Damn,
yeah.
Got muscles
Impressive.
on muscles. Damn. I mean, yeah. Yesterday I saw there was some footage from the NFL Combine about which quarterback was throwing the hardest. It looked like it was like a 20-yard throw. And I think it was I think it was a quarterback for Tennessee who threw like 62 miles an hour. Yeah. But it's like, it was like a 25-yard pass. I don't know what Jalen could throw, but I know he has a hell of an arm. But yeah, those are traps on traps, right? I think when you look to the defensive questions going into this team, I kind of went with the offense and the coaches for my first question, because we've talked about all the positions. My biggest thing that I'm watching on Wednesday when I do get to watch is probably the offensive tackles. Who's there just to begin with? And where's Dylan Lonergan? But where are the tackles? Who are the tackles? Where are the tackles going to be for this team? Coach Kapilovic working with the offensive line. And just like Coach Darrell was saying, he's looking at the wide receivers. So am I. One of those guys has to stand up. There's so many of them. Maybe Emmanuel Henderson, keep my eye on him. How does a new transfer look in Jeremy Bernard, right? T, you could throw up that super chat overlay when you get a chance. Patriot Life in with $24.99 leading the way. You got Adam in with the 10 spot and pretty wide open in terms of the super chat leaderboard. So we appreciate you guys supporting us right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Coin God saying Casey Poet, offensive tackle. We can't wait to see it. Louis, what's up, man? See you inside the comment box. In terms of the tackle, he's saying Elijah Pritchett, Wilcom Formby, Miles McVay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think those guys as well. That's who I'm rolling with. But I am keeping my eye on like Casey Poe as well, the freshman who just came to Alabama. I guess on the defense, I have a little bit more questions, just considering the amount of turnover within the secondary. I think when you look to Alabama's secondary, you're going to see a lot of younger guys contributing in this spring period from the jump, which is fine. Get those guys acclimated. Are you still going to take somebody from the transfer portal? Probably. Nothing wrong with that. How is Damani Jackson going to look? Who's a transfer from USC? How is Keon Sabb going to look? The transfer from Michigan. The inside linebackers, I think they're going to do a great job from the jump. But what is the depth going to look like at that inside linebacker, right? Bama Fan 95 is saying, had to change my name in the chat since we have the same name, Kyle. Oh, it's all good, man. Appreciate you. Kyle, rock what you got to rock, man. Bama Fan 1995. And I like the avatar, by the way. Moonrocker, what's up? Moonrocker has been messing with all the emojis because he finally was able to become a fan funder.
I know, he was like, they're so addicting. Like, I'm not even paying attention anymore. I'm choosing the emojis, but everyone says that, and they really are. They're so much fun to use.
Byron is saying he can't wait to see Austin Mack for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like a unit outside of a practice. Imagine with like shoulder pads and helmet, right?
Yeah, I'm excited to see him too.
Yeah. Webbs is saying that he went to Pop Stroke.
We've been trying to get there. Every time we drive by, it's like so packed.
Hold on, T. I think you gotta I think I have to sneeze.
Oh.
So if I go full screen, that means I might have to sneeze. No, we tried to go to Pop Stroke, right?
Yeah, it's just been like at least 20 people on each hole.
When you drive by it, it's like right on McFarland. and it's just packed.
Yeah, right beside what is that?
It's by Baumhauer's.
Baumhauer's. I wanted to say Buffalo Phil's. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to go. I mean, you hear me talking about golf all the time, even if it's mini golf or whatever. But I mean, literally, like how it looks from the outside, it looks like there's probably about 15 people on one hole, right? It's like right there. So
yeah, we're gonna try to go during the week, hopefully while people are at work. So, but we've been wanting to go for sure.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
Josh, what's up, man? See you inside the comment box, man. We're excited for spring ball as well. There's almost 300 people in here. So let me tell you one more time how this week is going to work from our perspective and what to expect from Alabama's practice. So today is Monday, and what you have is a Kalen DeBoer only press conference. Yes, the team does practice at 3:25, but it's a closed window. So we'll be looking for like B-roll or anything that they send out, photos, whatever it is. But on Wednesday is an open practice period. So no practice on Tuesday, but on Wednesday at 3, we're going to be able to watch practice. I don't know how much practice we're going to be able to watch. I think it's going to be a significant amount, to be honest. We're going to be able to get that video and be able to bring it to our YouTube channel. Same thing with the press conference today. We'll be streaming around 5 p.m. It's going to be probably between 5:15 and 6 p.m. There's no like definitive time. And then on Wednesday, you have this open practice period. We will bring that to you right here on Bama Football on YouTube, along with some post-practice thoughts from me and Coach Smook. Well, I'll be down there, Coach Smook, myself, and T. And then you get some interviews after practice as well. So Wednesday, heavy day in terms of the content that you'll see on this YouTube channel. Then on Friday, no practice Thursday. On Friday, the last practice before they go on spring break, it's interview opportunities as well. So you're going to be able to see, I think it's the offensive coaches on Friday and the defensive coaches and players on Wednesday. So I'm not sure how it's going to work. I would imagine they break up. They have defensive coaches over here, defensive players, and you kind of interview them in what we call pool style. So pool style is like, here's a coach and all the reporters run to him. Here's another guy. And it's kind of like a square and reporters kind of go for like 15 minutes. So we will bring those interviews to you right here on Bama Football on YouTube. T, what do you think? You think we like break up those interviews, or do we merge all those interviews into one? So like, for example, the San Francisco 49ers, they have Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference only. But then when they have like defensive coaches and players, they merge them together with like three, like a thumbnail with like the 3 players that they interviewed, and then basically timestamp the interviews.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is if you upload too many intervieers,
then they get
overwhelmed, So I don't know.
Saturate the
yeah. So we'll kind of think about that. But and then we'll upload different interviews.
But people do like the quicker videos too.
Yeah, that's why I think we'll have as we've talked about.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so that's what we'll do, fam. And we'll make sure and timestamp them. So timestamping will tell you inside the interview when the next guy is. So let's say that you have Wommack to open, and then we'll be like at 7:52 you have Deontay Lawson. Dwight P is asking, are y'all interviews going to be stream or going to be just audio? No, they're going, how the interview, the audio, the video will be like you'll see the coach with audio, and then we'll bring that here. I don't think that we'll stream those. But they'll be uploaded.
Yeah, we'll stream the press conference, Kalen DeBoer's, and then the interviews will be uploaded immediately after. Because
one of the things is that you're going to find out real quickly when you go out and you're looking at all your interviews, the audio is going to be horrible, but not ours.
Not ours, yeah.
I am dead set to bring you like quality audio. That's like my biggest thing.
We have like 800 mics.
Seriously, I have 800 mics here on the table. I will not let a video get uploaded to this channel that has shitty audio. Yes, you have to get credentialed. Yeah. But like, there's no like the audio. We proof the audio before we upload it. It's not there. There's no like just record here and just upload it. Like, you don't have to be first. It's about quality. Period. Like, you're going to get quality content. You ever turn on Netflix and not been able to hear it? It doesn't exist. There's sound engineers that make sure that your audio is fine-tuned. So I don't play with audio. You have bad audio, you get out of here. Like we don't mess around with that. Right, T?
That is true.
Yeah. So like we have all the mics and stuff like that. That's why it's like, and look, things do go wrong during the season. There'll be like some times where we mess up on the audio, whatever.
Yeah, mixer breaks.
Something. Yeah. Or like a mic didn't get added or who knows? I mean, and the way that they have it, it's tough because think about this. What if you had to interview one person, okay? One person. Think about it like at Thanksgiving, okay? There's one person at the head of the table. And what happens if like 40 people are trying to interview that person? Think about that. That's how it's going to be. And it's aggressive. People get in there and they're like with their microphones. It's actually not the best way to do it, to be honest. You have to, the best way is at the podium with the mic and then you could plug in. That's why the biggest, we don't play with the audio. Yeah, the audio is terrible. That's why like people don't understand. Like, and you start to see this on all the other YouTube channels that you watch. You're like, man, this audio sucks. It's hard. It's hard to get good audio. I promise you. And it takes time because you upload the video, but you got to upload the audio. You got to make sure that those are matching. So and you got to upload it properly. It takes a lot. How are analysts looking? Got rid of Strong. Keep any? Yeah. I mean, there's been a sea of new analysts that have been added. I think like 17 to 25. I think overall in the football staff, you probably have about 60 guys. And then with, the athletic trainers and stuff like that, there's like at least 200, 225 that work behind the scenes at Alabama for Alabama football. And the crazy thing is if you work for Alabama football, you get a ring. So like if you're putting stickers on the helmets and you're part of the, what an underrated Twitter account is? Go follow the Alabama football equipment team. The equipment team. We're following it. But it's dope. So they give you a behind the scenes look and they like how they put on the stickers, how they have all the mouthpieces, their cleats, the gloves. It's dope. Can't hear all the questions being asked by the media at all in other channels. Exactly. Because they don't, what they're doing is they're first to Twitter. And so like, the thing is like, I don't even watch, all we see on Twitter is the first thing. I never click stories.
Yeah. Well, and another problem is like how crowded it is, like since all the individual media aren't mic'd up and we don't have connection to their, like, to every single person asking a question, it is hard to get, to make the media loud enough sometimes. But we definitely will have the best audio for you guys.
Yeah. And look, like people are like, you don't play. Like, no. Like, look.
That's just for like one day.
This is like, no, I don't play. Like, this is the game plan. I don't like wake up and like, I'm like, okay, what is going to happen? No. Like, this is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like, I sit down, I think about it, and then I translate it to like our Slack group. And, so I'm not playing. I mean, you guys are fan funders. Like, there's no, like, you guys are supporting the channel. You guys like understand, you guys like deserve this level of content, period. Go out and look at all your other channels. You have Josh Pay who crushes it, but like, we focus on our channel, but I focus it the way, like, this is Alabama. This is like how I basically learned. This is what I learned from Coach Saban. Seriously. Like this YouTube channel, like I run it like Coach Saban run his. Like that's kind of the mentality that you have to have. And if you want to become a fan funder on this YouTube channel for only $2.99, hit this bottom hyperlink, and we appreciate you guys being in here. So appreciate you, man. And like the mentality, you got to have that type of mentality to where you wake up and you want to do good. You want to be excited about your job. You want to be excited about the things that you can control. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today for our, and I do that. Yeah. Like the media, I am in the Saban media tree. Xavier Worthy, that was a crazy 40 time. It's the fastest ever, right? 4.21. That was crazy. You think about like guys in the past. I think it was Chris Johnson, who ran like a 4.2. It was a little bit slower than that, and then he busts out a 4.21. And I brought this out as well. And we got Coach Smook coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Think about this: out of all the talent that Texas had, Coach DeBoer was able to beat him not once, but twice. And he also was undefeated against Dan Lanning as well, right? And Lincoln Riley. pretty amazing to see. Smook, give us a thumbs up, man, if you're ready to pop on, man. We'll bring you on when you're ready. He needs 1 second, and then we'll bring in Coach Smook. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Look forward to bringing you guys the press conference this afternoon right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And we got Coach Smook coming up next right here on our YouTube channel during our morning stream. And, when news happens, think Bama Football on YouTube, because we will certainly have you covered with all the content as we continue to navigate through, spring football season. So coming up next is Coach Smook. Give us a thumbs up, Coach, when you're ready. And we'll bring on Coach Smook right now in 2 seconds. Coach, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, brother? How you feeling this morning?
Yeah, I appreciate you being here, man. Feeling great. I mean, this is the first practice of, the spring season. And now, Coach Kalen DeBoer takes over. It's going to be interesting to see him at the podium today, talking Alabama football as he kind of takes over this whole program, this whole organization. And, love to see it, man. So how you feeling today, Coach?
I'm feeling good, man. I got a 4:45 this morning and did my little 15-minute workout, got a good shower in. I ended up showering and I couldn't chill out. So I did a little jog around the area I'm staying at, right? And then came back and had to take another shower. So yeah, I'm just amped up, man. I'm trying to keep my, this is a big day for me. You used to this, so it's a big day for me.
No,
I'm anxious, nervous, and everything.
No, but I get you too. It's I'm nervous too, because there's a lot on the line, and the thing is, we don't know how this is going to operate in terms of with the new staff. With Saban, it was pretty much easy, but I don't know, on Wednesday, these interviews and the practice footage and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's all going to be completely different, or it could be completely different. It could be exactly the same. We have no clue.
Yeah, that's why it's you gotta, but we'll be on our game.
Yeah. I mean, everyone's in the same boat
for sure.
Oh yeah.
So now you kind of just take your CBDs and cover.
Yeah, right. Rogueshop.com,
right,
promo code Bama.
Smook, do your thing, man. We appreciate you. I will see you at 12 for our meeting. And do your thing, Smook. You got Coach Smook, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of him like you guys will take care of me. And we will catch you guys soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Did I come back? Okay, I'm back. Woo! Y'all, so Wi-Fi here keeps dropping, so I had to switch to the hotspot real quick. I got my little mobile hotspot on my phone that's been working perfect. So, man, good. It worked out perfect. Shout out to Kyle and T in the back, man. Appreciate y'all for holding it down, man, and setting it up for your boy. I'm so grateful and appreciative. Today is a huge day for your boy. But before we get into it, man, let's run it up in the chat, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Let's crank this thing up a little bit. Yeah, we can get a little loud today. You know what I'm saying? It's the first day of spring. I know y'all got the energy, man. I know y'all ready. Oh my God, man. This is crazy. We are here. Spring training, spring practice starts, and Coach Saban's not the coach. What in the world? Shout out to Shane Brown in the chat for popping it off for your boy this morning. Appreciate you for pulling up this day. Cynthia in the chat. Marvin, what's good, Marvin, in the chat, my guy. Auntie Janet, man, I love me some Auntie Janet. My sister Ebony, Noah's mom is in the chat. Oh boy, y'all lit today. Yeah, Louis, you lit today, ain't you? Yeah, it's crazy. It's going down today, y'all. It's going down today. Megan in the chat, LaQuasia in the chat, Bama fan 95 in the chat. Let's go, man. Y'all are going crazy today. Let's go. Caitlin in the chat, Chris from New Jersey. What's up, my brother and sister? How y'all feeling? Tim, what's good, man? What's good, Tim? K-Spray in the chat. Antonio, my God. Antonio went straight to Twitter the other day when the news broke. Yeah, Andrew, what's good, family? You stanky legging, Louis? Do the stanky leg. Do the stanky. What's good, Kevin? What's good, everybody? Ty in the chat. Let's go, man. Jared in the chat. What's good? Zay from the 904. What's good, family? Aaron McGuire, how you feeling today, man? I'm excited, as y'all can see. Y'all know I always got the energy anyways, but I'm extra excited today because I done had to take my braids out. You know what I'm saying? My little twist. They growing. Ebony, you see your brother? You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember it was extra long like last month before I had combed them out. And you know what I'm saying? They still growing. Hey, at the ears, you know what I'm saying? That boy got a little length, you know what I'm saying? It's a little buoyancy, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Let's go, man. I'm feeling y'all, man. I'm feeling y'all today. I'm amped up. I'm excited. Today's segment has to be on point because we are on a tight schedule from here on out. You heard Kyle running it down about all the insight and coverage we're going to be bringing you guys. So let's get into the segments for today for the Smook Scoop, man. I'm excited, guys. I just can't express that enough. I'm probably going to say that about 50 more times before the segment is over. Oh, man. How was it getting the pick with Terrion? Okay, that I know everybody wants to know about that. So we'll start off with that before we jump into anything. Let me tell y'all how it happened, though. So I come out the bathroom and I'm at the game, Tennessee Bama game, right? I'm at the game. I go to the bathroom. I'm sitting up in the stands, and I seen Terrion walking up the stands. So I'm like, man, it's about to be packed. I'm about to go to the bathroom on this side. So I went to the opposite side, right? And I'm coming out the bathroom, and by the time I'm coming out the bathroom that was away from the little section he came up, I think he came up like closer to the L section, and I was in the N section. So no, he was past the L section. He had to be like O or P section. He came up, was walking up that way after he hugged Miss Terry and everybody down below us. So I go to the bathroom on this side, that way, like that way. He was that way. So when I came out the bathroom from this way, he was coming this way towards me. And some young man, he was like, hey, can you take this picture with me? Can you take this picture for me? He didn't say with me. Can you take this picture for me? I'm looking down in my phone. This is right after I was trying to go live with you all for the halftime report. So I'm out there. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at my phone. He asked me to take the picture for him. So I'm like, sure, no problem. You know what I'm saying? So I go, and I go and I look, and I look up. I said, man, that's TA. I play it cool, y'all. I ain't turning to a fan. I played it cool, straight up. I played it cool. I said, so I look up. I was like, yeah, I got the picture. And so Terrion, he's like taking pictures with everybody around him. Like, he is not one of those that act like he ain't got time. He had his girlfriend with him. I think that was his girlfriend. She's kind of like his PR, I guess, right now. But I want to say that's his girlfriend. I'm not gonna assume. But they were like, when I talked to her, I was like, is it hard trying to get him to stop taking pictures? She was like, he loved everybody. He tried to show love to everybody. I was like, that's what's up. So I'm taking pictures for other people. I took pictures for 3 other people. I didn't ask for a picture, right? Terrion goes out his way to say, hey, man, let me take a picture with you too. I got you next. So I take a picture of him and the young man that originally wanted me to take a picture. And then I was like, man, I don't need that special, man. I said, look, I appreciate you, man. I love what you're doing. And while I'm getting my phone out to chat, to take the picture, he's just like, man, I'm extremely blessed, man. I love this university. He was like, man. And I was like, man, you should check us out. Bama football on YouTube, man. I'm Coach Smook. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, I'll try to check you out. It's going to be busy for me. I ain't going to sit here in front, but I got you on the pic, man. And make sure you tag me on Instagram. And if you got a Twitter, hit me up on Twitter. Sure enough, I get the pictures. Y'all see the pictures. I tweeted it. He reposted my tweet. He retweeted my tweet. And my boy shot me some love on Instagram. And I was like, man, that was solid. So shout out to Terrion Arnold. If you're not in here, if you're in here, or if you get to come by and see this segment of this part of my segment, shouts out to Terrion Arnold. And it was a lot, y'all saw me take a picture with Sarah Ashley Barker. So I had to enjoy those moments because now, because of what I do, I can't, be a fan anymore. I have to be a professional. So it was good to have those experiences before today. And but the good thing about it today, we move forward with the real stuff, man. We move forward with the real stuff. Y'all ain't got to worry about Coach Smook, you know what I'm saying, trying to step in the door. We in there. Bama football on YouTube will be providing all of the inside scoop. Clinton Howard, what's good, my guy? Nice to have you back in here today. Appreciate you for being here, man. How does this work with all the recruits on campus this week? Will they be attending and watching practice? What's the visit schedules like? All right, so I'm gonna confirm some recruiting visits. A lot of people been asking about recruits. What's crazy is I've had the privilege of interacting and talking with like 6 of the recruits that's going to be here this weekend. Got 4 more that I'm gonna be talking to today after the segment while I get ready to go and set up for today's practice. Let me pull out the list. Let me pull out the list because we got some. We're going to be premiere on tomorrow's segment of on the radar. We got one for on the radar. We got one for hidden gems, and I think we're going to have one for under the radar. There's a young man that's out of Valley, Alabama. He's out of Valley, Alabama, same area Christian Story is from, and I think the young man is very overlooked. So I plan on featuring him tomorrow for our segment. But here goes the list of people, the recruits that I have been able to talk to and that are going to be on campus, have confirmed that they're going to be on campus this week. And I explain how that their visits work, what's the plan for them. Don't listen to Coin Guy. He don't know what he's talking about. But Hallman Kasuga, he'll be on there today. And Hellerman, my fault. Hellerman Kasaga. This the young man from this is the 4-star 6'1", 198, 2026. He's playing DB and receiver. He's going to play DB and receiver. We got him coming this weekend. He's making a visit. You got Nashawn Montgomery. This young man, he's a 25 wide receiver out of Miami Central. Speed kills type guy. You get what I'm saying? Route technician. Y'all know how them boys from Florida, them specialty positions from Florida, them guys are just naturally fast. It's in their blood. We got London Merritt. London Merritt is the 4-star, the 4-star defensive end. He just transferred to IMG Academy. We'll be having him, featuring him sometime either this week or next week. He's been talking with him. He's coming this weekend, right? Who else? We got a list, man. Duke Johnson, Daryl Johnson out of I'm just pulling the list up, y'all. And the number 2 athlete in the nation. He's 4-star class of 2025. 6'3", 205. I think that kid might play receiver, might play safety. Depends, man. I mean, a lot of specialty guys. He could play linebacker. I mean, that kid is an athlete. Duke Johnson. He might be playing running back. You never know. That kid is an athlete. Who else? Malik Autry. Talking to him, you know, I didn't see that whether he's going to be on campus this weekend, but that's the name that I've been chasing. And y'all know the mainstream ones, the guys they're getting all the hype about being here this weekend. Those are just the ones that I confirmed and I've been able to conversate with. So yeah, man, we got Juju Lewis, Noah Mikhail, Travis Smith Jr. Of course, you know I was talking with him last weekend, or this past weekend. Zydarius Rainey was able to chop it up with him. It's a lot of players that's going to be here this weekend. Nice list of them. Zaire Addison is a guy that I'm trying to get in contact with. I love his film. I was able to watch his whole film. 4-star old lineman. Ready to talk to him. 25 class. It's a lot of kids coming, man. Louis, is Malik Autry? Is he coming? Not sure. Hope so. But the way their visits are going to work this weekend, they're going to be able to, you know, walk around campus. They'll be able to watch sorts of parts of the practice on Friday. And this weekend, I don't know how spring break is going to work. We're going to get all those details today, but they'll just have a basic visit, man. They'll be able to go around the campus. They'll visit the facilities, interact with some of the players. It's kind of like that integration because now they're open. All the eligible juniors and seniors, they're able to take all these visits, unofficials, and it's a good time to really make an impact in recruiting. So I can't wait. Hey, Coin Guy, you don't need to put the list, man. We good. We got the list already out. We tweeted it. Thank you. But yeah, you want that kid big time? Me too, man. Big time. Football is back, chat. Football is back. Listen, football is back. Today is the first day of spring training. We get to see the new era of Kalen DeBoer and this new DeBoer era of offense, right? This new Kane Wommack area of defense, the Swarm D. I'm excited about it. I think we are on the brink of something special. Kalen DeBoer is ready. Got to see his energy, just being a part of the Alabama community, being here in Tuscaloosa. You got to see his energy and his excitement to be here on the sideline this past weekend. Man, I saw a lot of staff members when I was headed towards the Bama Tennessee game. Got to see Coach Wommack was there. Josh Chapman, he's an administrative staff up there. Walked by, dapped him up to while I was on my way to the game. Real brief. And what's crazy is I walked from a different location. I didn't want to park where everybody else was parking. So I parked like on the outside of the practice facility over there where the apartments are. And I was walking and I was walking across Malmore, the front, the entrance. And there was a couple of staff members. And you know how you think you see somebody because of their picture on the website, but you don't want to be weird and be a fan and like kind of get in trouble. So I was just walking real slow, just kind of trying to look at my phone, see if that could be that person. They might have some different scruff from the picture or something. But I was just trying to look. I was like, that might be Coach Cap. That might be Coach Cap. And then I also thought it might have been Brian Ellis might have been standing out. I don't know, man. I was just excited. And today I get to be a part of this whole new age of media coverage when it comes to Bama football. And yeah, man. So I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. Shouts out to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. Bama spring ball insight. So a lot of insight that we're pulling today is just speculation. We won't know anything definitive until we go watch the drills. We watch we get some post practice interaction with Coach DeBoer. But speculating at how things were looking, all the talk around the team right now, this team is really bought into really their leadership group. And there's a core leadership group of veterans in that locker room that are really stepping up and leading by example. Number one, Jalen Milroe. I mean, him and Tyler Booker, they are kind of like the catalyst on the offensive side, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Booker. And then on the defensive side, you got Malachi Moore. He's more so the foregone, outspoken leader. But to some people's surprise, well, to my surprise, Tim Smith has been getting a lot of, he's a fifth year senior, so you would expect that, but he's never been the vocal type. But you hear his name being echoed in the locker room. Who else, man? Young guys stepping up, making just leading by example, being first in, last out type of deal. Damani Jackson, gaining the respect of the team, has gained the respect of the team. A great locker room fit. Saab, is integrating. People are talking about his demeanor and his attitude. I'm loving the energy around this team, man, and being able to see a lot of these players when I'm on campus or see them coming out of this facility after workouts, whatever. It's like it's a good feeling to know that these guys are really, working with a chip on their shoulder already. So I look for this spring ball to be very intense. I'm praying that, we come through healthy, minor, no injuries. If we come through clean with 0 injuries, that's a perfect spring. Being able to be intense, apply a little physicality, having some good controlled chaos during our scrimmage sessions, right? And we're going to keep going, man. We're going to keep going. Dustin Hodge is in the chat. Oh, you know what else was crazy, y'all? And I don't know if y'all seen it. Now, I don't do this a lot. But it was good to see like people that noticed Bama football on YouTube. In particular, it felt good to be noticed, right? Amongst the Alabama community. Just walking around and just being excited, being a fan. People started noticing who I was. All it took was like 3 or 4 people to say it, and hopefully we got some more subscribers off of it. I know for a fact when I took pictures with a couple of supporters this past weekend, I watched a few people follow the channel, as I was, telling them where to find us at. So it was an awesome experience. Antonio Coleman flip was crazy. I wasn't expecting it till early June, maybe late May. The conversation was had with him Thursday evening. The conversation was had with Antonio Coleman. It might have been before that also. I think it was a few conversations, but the real conversation happened Thursday evening. And for him to come out and announce that flip from Auburn, that's huge. I'm expecting a few more flips, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But Antonio Coleman, y'all were here for it when I called it. Not everyone, Shane, not everyone, but Coin Guy, what's up with you, man? Do you feel like you're getting some type of like brownie points for doing this? Like it's kind of aggravating, man. It's kind of aggravating. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah. So, yeah, man, it's a good vibe here on campus, y'all. Kalen DeBoer's agenda. We've heard the interviews. We've saw the interviews. We've seen him sit down on next round. We've seen his excitement for the team, right? With the quarterback situation, he's excited for that competition. He's very confident in that running back room. He's very confident with the O-line and getting those guys up to speed and develop. A huge pickup with bringing in Parker Brailsford, right? Also, the other transfers, Austin Mack, Jeremy Bernard, Joshua Cuevas. I'm excited about all those guys getting integrated into this locker room. But personnel-wise, we see Kalen DeBoer's agenda on the offensive side. And then on the defensive side, you can see how he's directing or kind of allowing Kane Wommack to go after the guys that literally fit this scheme. And so you look at an agenda by Kalen DeBoer. If we had to put a persona on Kalen DeBoer's agenda, I would go as far to say as his agenda is just to go and attack. He's in attack mode right now when it comes to developing these guys, when it comes to getting guys on the same page. Well, he's really on attack mode in recruiting. And I think he heard the whispers and the rumbles of when he came into the league, right? And everybody was like, he can't recruit in the SEC, right? So it felt good to see him get on the trail, him, Courtney Morgan, Robert Gillespie, Freddie Roach, the whole staff, right? It felt good to see them get in on the trail and go crazy. So, yeah, Kareem, some people just, like, nobody's even asking him for jersey numbers. We're going to do a segment on that as it comes out, and it's official. He's, doing what he do. So we don't have to pay attention to it, y'all. We keep going. But, yeah, and the only reason I acknowledge y'all, because y'all are fan funders for real. Y'all paid for y'all fan funding. And like I said, it's something that we're working out. We're trying to weed out everybody that brings the negative energy. We just trying to keep it positive. We talking football. Now, shout out to the 290 in the chat also. Don't forget to run up the likes. Make sure if you're not a subscriber already that you subscribe. Turn on your notifications for every post that we get from this channel. This is the channel. If you want, if any inside news, any reactions, any details on anything, if you want the real, come to Bama Football on YouTube, man. We not going to sugarcoat nothing. We're going to give it to you straight. Everything we know, you going to know it, right? Keon Keeley is bigger, faster than Will Anderson. That's crazy. Can't wait to see him on the field. I'm not going to agree with the faster part, but he is bigger. Chris, you got to turn the film on. He got a long way to go before he even get to the level Will Anderson was on as a freshman. Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, Keon Keeley is like a step and a half behind those guys. And I'm just being honest. Like, those two guys, they set the tone. If he's going to reach that, he got a lot of work to do. Not saying he's far behind, but he got a lot of work to do to step into those shoes. So, yeah. So, Kalen DeBoer's agenda is fire. It's crazy. It's lit. I love it. His energy around it. I mean, the coaches even echo it. Mo Lindquist, I think Jamarcus Shepard is probably going to end up being the fan favorite for the offensive side as far as the offensive coaches. And I think Mo Lindquist is going to end up being a fan favorite on the defensive side for the fan base. I'm telling y'all, this guy's energy tied with Kane Wommack and Colin Hitzler and Christian Robinson, and I'm just naming the newcomers. These guys are some intense coaches. Our defense, if they have the persona of this defensive coaching staff, they will be some dogs, man. I'm telling y'all, they will be intense. It'll be a lot of yapping. It'll be a lot of intimidation factor imposed. I'm telling y'all, man, we have to. Crimson Wave, you one of them too, man. Thank you for doing what you do, being what you do. But yeah, listen. So jumping into this, targets, visit, flip, repeat. That's what the formula is for Kalen DeBoer and this staff. Target, visit, flip, repeat, right? So what they're doing, they're targeting guys. And I'm gonna use this one for prime example. Y'all remember 3 weeks ago when I talked about Antonio Coleman being a priority for this staff, right? For this administration, everybody that recruited, they knew that if we went and we got Antonio Coleman, in-state guy, highly touted guy. We can start making some seismic moves in this 25 class, right? We did the same thing with Ryan Williams. We went and secured Ryan Williams. We attacked heavy, hard. What was easy about that situation is, though, you had guys that were in the 24 class that were early enrollees that stayed committed. They didn't hit the portal. They didn't get out of their NIL or none of that. They stayed. Jalen Mbakwe was a key piece, in communicating with Ryan Williams, right? So secure Ryan Williams kind of solidified the class, and it showed that we can do the things we need to do to get the big names, right? Right? So you turn around and you go to 25 class, and you look at all the recruits that we're targeting and offering, right? Look at the commits that we just recently got. Antonio Coleman was a huge one. And the reason I'm telling you this, not just because he was in state, but because it was an actual flip. He was just on Instagram and Twitter a few weeks ago when I was interacting with him. I was like, man, you need to come on to Bama, get in that crimson and white, WDE, with the little chicken, the hot chicken out there. So, and I just kept going at him. A lot of fans, we kept going at him, not necessarily picking at him, just showing him that he could be great if he come to Bama, right? Come this weekend, the announcement is made. Everybody remember who said it, all of that. But I was thinking more so on the fact that Courtney Morgan, Freddie Roach, Kalen DeBoer, Kane Wommack, these guys are really on the trail. And they're really spitting the silver, right? They got the magic touch. You get what I'm saying? These guys are like the preacher that can get all the money out your wallet, when it's offering time. That's what I'm feeling, man. They're targeting guys. They're saying, hey, we want you. And when it gets to phase 2 of the visit, it's like once you come visit, it's like you don't want to leave. We saw what happened when Ryan Williams came that weekend. He had Texas lined up. He had Auburn lined up the following week. And y'all remember what I was saying? Don't be surprised. And I was just going off of everything that I was able to hear when I was on a phone call during this visit, right? And I was hearing some of the interactions. So I was just going off of that. And excitement when people get on campus and the way that this staff is, I don't think it's a lot of flash and flare going on. I don't get to be on the insides of the recruiting visits and every step of it. I don't know what they do for the recruits when they come in. I don't know the particulars that they get into. You get what I'm saying? So I just kind of I ask around, I feel for it, I look at it, look at the socials, and you can see, man, it's not a lot of flash. It's just straightforward. This is the plan. This is what we want you to commit to. We're committed to developing you. We're committed to getting you to the next level, allow you to create as much value for yourself through the university. Like that is the agenda. That's the message. It's awesome to be pushing like that, right? So you get it for a visit, and everybody that's taken a visit since if they verbally committed somewhere, or they're leaning towards somewhere, somebody got them crystal ball. Not many days after their visits, their stories or their statements being released saying heavily considered Alabama, verbally committed to Alabama, happy to be offered by Alabama. Greatly had a great talk with Coach so-and-so, Coach Wommack, Coach Freddie Roach, Coach Hitchler, Coach Lindquist, Coach DeBoer, Coach Sheridan. Like all of these coaches are really putting in work, and I love it, man. And this new age of media and coverage, you guys are going to continue to get more insight and get to see how this develops. And before you know it, man, people, like I told y'all last week, people are going to be asking the question, did Coach Saban retire? Are we sure Coach Saban retired? That's how the turnover is going to be. Yes, Kareem, the facilities are second to none. Ebony, yeah, that boy Noah. Listen, I hit my boy up the other day, man. I love Noah, man. I hit my boy. We'll talk about it, Ed. We'll talk about it. That's my boy, man. I read somewhere they were down here this past weekend. It was a lot of players down here this past weekend. Ryan Williams was here this past weekend. He was at the game too. It was pretty cool seeing him. He got his dreads dyed red. Dude was cool, man. Dude, all these young kids, man. A lot of times the media that y'all get to see, it portray these kids as like flashy and all this. Man, I mean, Ryan Williams is a character. He's outgoing, far from flashy. He just a relatable person. You see his energy. He has that magnetic energy. He's going to be one of those guys in the locker room that, keep everybody laughing, going to be first in, last out type energy. So I like what we're doing. We're recruiting quality guys. You get what I'm saying? And that's what you want. Hey, Listen, Moonrocker, I told y'all, don't panic. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I meant the coaches was in Saraland. No. The players. Ryan Williams was up here. I think what's his little brother name? It's not his real brother, but he called him his little brother. They both were here this past weekend. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. Listen, one thing I'm excited about though with this class is the wide receiver room. We got some 25 receivers that's going to be on campus this week. I don't want to get into details about what we got planned to feature this group of wide receivers, but I feel like we may get 1 or 2 commitments after not this weekend, maybe next week, because a lot of guys are taking these first 2 weeks in March to go and make their visits, their unofficials. But I think we might start getting some verbals from some 26 guys. And 26 is a ways away, but it's always good to get that momentum going for a class, right? Get an early momentum. We know things change throughout the recruiting process, but to have a lot of these guys first look, some of them use it for, attraction from other teams. If they could say Alabama offered, that means everybody else is pretty much going to offer, right? Anybody you want to go to, if Alabama offer you, anybody you want to go to is probably going to come right there behind Alabama and offer you, right? So I don't see a lot of those guys in this 25 and 26 class, though. I really see guys that they have aspirations of being Bama. Some of these guys were Saban fans, right? But a lot of these recruits are in group text together. They talk to each other. And I guarantee you, talking to the likes of Antonio Coleman from this past weekend, I guarantee you, if him and Malik Autry, which I heard is a true story, if they're talking, right, it's a good possibility that Malik Autry, as soon as he gets an offer, he could commit to Bama. That's how this day and age works. These kids really get in cahoots, and they get in their groups, and they try to build power teams in recruiting. They try to build power classes in recruiting. I mean, why not? Why not? You do it for 7-on-7 and everything else. Why not do it for college? Use the opportunity to create a NIL value for a whole class of recruits, right? Use the opportunity to really set yourself up to give yourself a 3-year run at a national championship with a core group of guys that are tightly knitted and committed to the process, right? So I'm excited. Today's reality or reach, man. And yeah, we flying through them. We are flying through it because I really want to get in the undefeated chat talk today and just get some feels around the spring ball. I want to get into the conversation. I want to talk to y'all. I don't mind giving 30 minutes of talking to y'all about spring. I think it's a lot to be said about practice before it actually happens, so that we can kind of get people's mindsets out there and see where they're thinking. See, try to evaluate where your head is, who you're looking for. It's like, and I got my notepad today. You know what I'm saying? Got my notepad. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got much written on it, but I plan on remembering some notes so I could make sure I'm checking on some particular players for y'all today, as we get to kind of get a good look at this team. God, Malik Autry needs an offer today. Facts. And I man, you know what, Louis, I'm about percentage-wise, on a scale of 1 to 100, percentage-wise, I'm about 75% sure that we probably will reach out very soon here. And I mean, like in the coming days. I'm pretty sure this staff is going to make an initiative to get some type of contact with him. Maybe he'll be one of the late ads for a visit this week, or maybe he'll come next month closer to A-Day. Maybe A-Day is his visit, right? A lot of recruits are going to be here for A-Day. That's an experience that a lot of recruits want to experience. You get the full game day feel, especially this year. A-Day going to have like probably a bigger feel than game day, for a lot of people. So, yeah. See, that's why we talking about Ebony. That's why we talking about. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, text me, sis. But anyways, reality or reach. This your team plays for a national championship. Reality or reach. Keeping it simple. I'm gonna put it. Y'all want the poll? Let's do the poll. Give me a second. Let's do the poll. Don't even answer yet, y'all. Let's do the poll. Let's do the poll. Right. Here we go. Load up, thing. Switch account. I be forgetting I have to switch that thing. Touch that thing, folks. Hey, y'all remember who that was? Touch that thing, folks. Was it Courtney Upshaw? Let me touch that thing, folks. Yeah. Here we go. Bama Nation in the chat, undefeated. Why y'all checking out that poll? T, are you in the back? I think I'm going to run this. While we here, while y'all checking out the poll, I'm going to run our commercial, man, our promo for our sponsors, man. Let's get paid. I love this little cut, man. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here you go. Boom. Hey, for a quick second, check out our commercial for all our sponsors. Shout out to our sponsors. Here we go.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Residence in Ocean City, Maryland. Guests can book at residenceinOC.com. Use the promo code LPR for special Bama football pricing up to 20% off. Also, go to therogueshop.com. Use the promo code Bama. You get legal CBD. For me, personally, I like the topical oil. You know how intense my workouts are, right? So I like the topical oil. I like to rub that on my back, whatever, after those cinder blocks. So go to their website, cruise down, look through their website, and definitely check out rogueshop.com. And like I said, I like the topical. Again, the promo code is BAMA. Also, think about becoming a fan funder right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Become a part of the Undefeated as low as $2.99 a month. That's 10 cents a day. How do you do this? Make sure you're logged into your account. This is on a computer. You can also do this on your phone and look for the tab that says membership. Once you click membership, you can see different options. You can see an upgrade button right there to the right if you want to go through the different levels. We have fan funder videos from the staff right here at Bama Football on YouTube. Very easy to navigate. Let us know if you have questions inside the comment box when trying to upgrade or renew your fan funder membership right here on Bama Football on YouTube. And of course, if you want to rock that undefeated gear, check out our merch store located at the bottom of the videos. We appreciate Patriot Life, Cynthia, Antoine, Caitlin, and to everybody else that supports us right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Let's get it, baby. I'm so lit right now. Shouts out to Kyle T for getting that commercial cut, man. I'm excited, man. Rogue Shop. I'm about to put my order in. Y'all, after my run this morning, like I thought I was gonna be tired. I got this newfound energy. And I went to Waffle House, right? Got me a grit bowl, sausage, egg, and cheese grit bowl. At that bad boy. I think I got like 6 more bites left. But yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So, chat, let's get into it, man. What y'all want to talk about, man? What y'all want to talk about? Let's get into it, man. Who y'all want to see? Who y'all want to see go off? You know, this spring. Who's the guy that y'all really hoping is going to have an opportunity to shine going into this fall season? The poll is up. The poll is in. How many we got? How many votes we got on the poll? Got 65 votes. Oh, let's go. Y'all want? I cut it off at 5 minutes. I'm gonna cut it off at 5 minutes. We got 2 more minutes to get your poll answers in. Your poll answers in. Smook, do you think we will get the new June signing date this year? I don't know, Jared. I haven't been hearing much talk about a June signing date, but that's something we can look into, man. I definitely do some research on it. It's probably some people in the undefeated that probably know. I haven't been following it. I haven't been following it much. My boy Louis, he named my favorite player, Peyton Woodger. That's I think that's my favorite player of this freshman class. You know, no offense to everybody else, but Peyton Woodger, because I tried to play free safety, and I know what it entails, and I know where we lost a great player in Caleb Downs. That I think if everything falls through and we need a young guy to step up, Peyton Woodard is probably the most ready guy out of that DB room, out of that freshman class. Like truly the most ready guy. I mean, that's above Ryan Williams, that's above Xavier Brown, Mincy. That's above everybody that's there, right? Like that's in this freshman class. Peyton Woodard is, I mean, IQ is up there, speed, solid 4.43 guy. And I mean, you expect him to get faster and stronger while he's as he continues to develop. So I'm excited about Peyton Woodard. Shane Brown says Kendrick Law. I'm feeling that. Will Bama flip Naeem for Alford? Nope. I don't think so. I don't think so, Ronald. I don't think so. Justice Haynes. Everybody said Justice Haynes. I'm loving Justice Haynes too, man. Grip bowl with the hash browns. Woo! What you time out, girl? What you know about that? Yeah, let run a bit longer, coach. Let what run a bit longer? Oh, the poll. Yeah. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let some more people get in there. We at 77. It's growing. What's up, Dontario? My God. What's good, man? Tony Mitchell. I'm excited about Tony Mitchell too. Y'all, we have a lot of talent. I think the more names you begin to name and think about, just think about all the talent that these guys are bringing to the table. For all that we lost in the portal after Saban retirement, just look at everybody. Look at everybody that you guys are naming. We got a lot of talent, right? Wilk informed me. Quick story. I was able to go. I went and got a chiropractic adjustment, right? At the joint. Wilk and Formby's family is like the owners of that spot. I'm walking in, right? His pops is walking out. How you doing, Mr. Formby? You know, good. I'm glad you're here today. I said, well, just want to formally introduce myself. My name is Senator Hines. I go by Coach Smook, and I cover football. I cover Alabama football and Bama football on YouTube. Oh, I watch you guys. So, Mr. Formby, if you're in here, shouts out to you, man. Appreciate you for being a supporter of the channel. Don't know what his name is on there, but he watches us. And we might have an opportunity to engage with Wilkin in the coming weeks because they will be providing offensive players. Doesn't matter the class. So far, you know, it seems like they're just whoever is selected. So it would be awesome to possibly talk to Wilkin Formby. That'd be cool, man, to talk to Wilkin. Because y'all know Coach Saban didn't let freshmen do interviews, right? He didn't let true freshmen do interviews. So hopefully they change that up. I would love to get to talk to a lot of these freshmen or get some footage of them answering questions, seeing how their process is. It's going to be fun, man. Oh, yeah. Who else in here? Oh, man, they funny. I like them, too. You watch us, too, Kareem? Much love, man. Hey, Kareem, them jokers funny, ain't it, though? Them jokers funny. I love it, man. I wish, you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen with this channel? It's guys like y'all know, it's guys like them that they're going to get tired of coming here because after a while, y'all going to start lighting them up. And once y'all light them up, we already got rid of one. You know, he ain't been back since y'all lit him up the other day. So we just keep getting rid of them. Y'all keep popping off with the good energy, you know, supporting the show. They'll phase out. They'll phase out, chat. We're going to be straight. Heard Coach Saban is still coaching the defense. Brian, where you heard that at? Who told you that? Tell him to pull up on this channel so we can B2A. All right? Tell him to pull up. Tell him stop having you looking like that. Yes, it's Milrow season. You know what's crazy? I'm telling y'all, hey, I've been talking to a few people, and they just keep highlighting things that I just keep coinciding with. Like when it comes to Milrow and his abilities, man, I don't think Kalen DeBoer has had access or had the opportunity to coach an athlete of this caliber ever. And I think that's something that he's excited about. Why the fan base can't see it? Some of the fan base can't see it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Cody, what's good, my boy? My boy Cody said, Cody, what UT looking like, man? What UT Spring looking like? There's a lot of buzz around UT Spring, man. You know, we rock with our Texas fans that come through here, man. Yeah, hey, Moon Rocker, definitely. A lot of them. They come, but they go. They'll get tired. Yeah, man. Brian, hey, somebody slipped something in his drink, then it said Coach Saban ain't touching the sideline ever again. That man looks so happy. Did y'all see the pictures of Coach Saban at the game the other night? Shout out to the 310 in the chat. Don't forget to run the likes up. Bama Football on YouTube here. I'm Coach Smook. If you're just jumping in, welcome to the channel. Man, we appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Yeah. Something happened with my boy Brian. Somebody got you? Well, hey, my boy Cody in here, man. Yeah, hey, chat, if you're for the mirror for Heisman hype right now, before even the story starts to unfold, put some fire emojis in the chat. Put some fire emojis in the chat right now. If you're for the Milroe Heisman hype, put some fire in the chat. And while you do that, Patriot Life, shout out to you for the $10 super chat, my brother. Appreciate the support. Appreciate you for being here and doing what you do, man. Continue to support Patriot Life. You need to hit me up on the side, bro. We got to get you on something. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start setting something up for my brother right here for doing my segment. You, Larry Large, Auntie Janet, Uncle Jay, Kareem. It's a lot of y'all. I'm gonna start giving y'all the opportunity to do some special stuff. You know, we're expanding the platform, but we're also integrating our fan base. We're integrating the supporters, y'all. That's a big thing about what we want to do is our agenda here, Bama Football on YouTube. We want to integrate you all to the point. All the real supporters, all the people that you know come in with positive attitudes and have, you know, good differences of opinion, create good opportunities for debate. We love that, man. So we're going to continue to support. Hey, don't forget, y'all. Continue to send y'all topics. I got a lot of good topics last week, or not necessarily topics, but we reality or reaches last week. And then we also had don't forget to send your under the radar hidden gems, on the radar recruits you want me to do reactions to. We're doing reactions Tuesdays and Thursdays, guys. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll do our reactions. We'll do under the radar, hidden gems, on the radar on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We got a lineup tomorrow. Check my Twitter and everything for that lineup of players that to look out for. That way, y'all can start going watching their film before I do, you know, if that's what you want to do. But I always post it, you know, before I come on for my segment about who we have on the lineup. And so y'all can follow that. But if y'all want to do that, if y'all want me to check somebody out, definitely hit me up, coachsmook@gmail.com. With the Smook Scoop, we'll get on it and we'll dive it. Oh, yeah, look at all the fire in the chat. I'm going to run y'all up. Let me run y'all up real quick. Oh, yeah, bring it up. Come on, Cash. Come on, all the fire in the chat. Milroe will be in the running for the Heisman this year. I'm telling y'all. What you said, Bama fan? What do you say? What Bama fans say? You talking about this one right here, Bama fan? Is that what you're talking about, Bama fan? That's what made me think about it. I got to give you your props. I wasn't going to talk about Milroe too much today. I'm tired of the haters. I'm tired of the doubters, man. I'm tired of the doubters. People just talking. Coke Zero. Hey, you know what's crazy? They probably about $5 too. Appreciate the $5 super chat, Kareem. But you know what, Kareem? Can I change that to like just a bottle of that white crayon peach ocean spray that I got? Y'all see I ain't took a sip. Bro, if I'm looking that way, it's because my cup of white crayon peach ocean spray is sitting over there and it's on ice. It's on ice, y'all. Good. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Appreciate the $5 super chat, Kareem. Much love, my boy. All this fire in the chat. I love it, man. I love it. I love what y'all do, man. Smook, what's the Carson Beck hype? Let me tell you. Cash. Carson Beck, to me, in the SEC, he's probably your most pro-style ready quarterback right now. I love how he dissects the defense. Love how he trusts his protection. Not the strongest arm. Very, very accurate, though. I mean, he can make all the throws on the field. Not necessarily the strongest arm, though. He doesn't put a lot of zip on it. I think that might be something that he might be working on this offseason, because if you really look at his whole gameplay, he does everything good. He does everything good. He can create time with his legs. He can extend plays. He can roll out the pocket, throw on the run. I mean, he's a decisive runner when he has to scramble. Very, very decisive with his progressions, right? And flows through his progressions with ease. The young man comprehends the game of football at a high rate. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how he shapes out this year. You know, a lot of people want to admit that. I just like watching good players play football. You know, I'm a Bama fan through and through. But if you got a good player on your team, I promise you I'm going to be watching. Carson Beck might be in the Heisman running this year too. He might be in the Heisman running this year. Somebody said who? James, who said we're going 7-3? I'm glad you back on some good energy today. Welcome back, man. Welcome, James. Much love, my boy. See, James, I respect you because we had our little back and forth, right? And I told you what time it was. And real recognize real, right, James? And I appreciate that about people that come in and really want to support some good content, right? I tell the bros on the when they're on their segments, don't shy away from addressing, trolls and doing that. Let them know what their place is when they come in here and they're causing disruption amongst the fan funders, people who actually really support this channel. Let them know, put them in their place. And y'all fan funders, y'all got just as much liberty to put folks in place too. You get what I'm saying? We don't want no trolls in our chat, man. We don't want trash trolls in our chat, right? We don't want fake fans in our chat. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be in here, hey, integrate. Come on. Let's talk. Let's talk good. Let's talk some good stuff. Hey, Smook, for $5, you get some cold pressed organic juice. Steve Moonrocker, you on that other stuff, that organic, and you vegan? You do that vegan stuff? I can't do it. I don't remember caveman being vegan, right? You hear what I'm saying? I don't remember that. I just, I drink my water. We got water. It's a spring water too today. I ain't getting no purified water. It's spring water. I forgot who told me about spring water last week, who broke it down for me. Appreciate you, because I did my research, and yes, I will be on that spring water from now on. Yep. They said the other purified water it got minerals and stuff in there, additives, and that's why you drink so much of it, because it's not necessarily hydrating you. You have to overhydrate with that stuff, and that's not good for your body. So spring water is more natural. All the, they filter it less, and you get more of the natural water, nutrients and things that you need. So yeah, I'm gonna be stuck on spring water for now, and that's where I'm at. Jay Townsend, my Uncle Jay, always coming through, showing love. Appreciate the $5 super chat. He said, "Good morning, Coach Smook, aka nephew. Milroe will be in the top 3 for Heisman this year. Roll Tide for life." I agree. I think you put Milroe right at 3,100 passing, 3,100 plus, right? You give Milroe, because he was right at 28 last year, I believe, right? 24, 28, somewhere in that range. You put him at 3,100 passing yards. You keep your turnovers under 10, right? Get you about 31 plus touchdowns, right? 34 touchdowns. You basically a shoe in, and don't let him top off. Instead of just having 800 yards rushing this year, he could have had 11, 13 last year. If he just take off, don't let him mess around and pull 800 plus this year with those passing stats I just mentioned. That's a Heisman season. I don't know about y'all, but that's a Heisman season in my books. In my book, EJ, what you said? What you said about Carson Beck, EJ? What's up, EJ? Carson Beck might be the most overrated, but also underrated player in the nation. Doesn't seem like a general consensus of his ability. And that's what I said. I just my evaluation, EJ. I think he could play in any system at the pro level. I think he does everything good. He's not great. He's not like some that pops off this right now, based off what he put on film last year. And I think that's why he came back this year, because people were projecting him to go second round this year, late first round, early second round this year, right? You had some analysts, ESPN analysts, and as much as I don't care to, put any weight on what they say, when it comes to that draft, I kind of listen and pay attention to it. That's where their expertise is to me. So Carson Beck, I don't think he does anything great. He's just good at everything. He's consistent. He doesn't get rattled. His composure is there. Great understanding of the offense, right? Great understanding of what he's looking to do when the play call is out there. I like it. I like what he's doing. Let's see. Moon Rocker. Y'all know February gone, but Coach Smook will play matchmaker now. Hey, timeout. You know who we ain't seen in a few days, y'all? Trainwreck. What's good? Not you. We've been seeing Trainwreck. What's good, Trainwreck? I seen you gave me a holler. When y'all yell, I have to check you out. Hey, listen. Moon Rocker. Y'all know I'm the matchmaker on Bama football on YouTube, right? I'm the matchmaker. I like to unite holy matrimony amongst the Bama fan bases. We haven't seen Nicole. Where's my sister Nicole? We're going to put an APB out for my sister Nicole because I ain't seen her and I miss her. So if y'all seen Nicole, make sure y'all let her know her brother, Coach Smook, looking for her. And when he find her, he B2A in that tail. You know what I'm saying? He going to B2A that thing. And we're going to get her back acting right because she ain't here right now. And I'm not feeling that. It's making me feel a little uneasy. You know what I'm saying? James Dane says, seen it on another show, the down talk of Bama is crazy. Y'all really don't realize our offense. James, tell him, man. Tell him. Yeah, Chris, I don't know what they talking about. 7-3. And the only way it would be 7-3, we're going to have a lot of injuries. It's going to have to be like a total system fail because this is a coach that knows how to coach. He knows how to coach. And there aren't many other rosters in the SEC or in the nation that are more talented than what we have right now. So I'm excited, man. Carson Beck will see better on the road competition this year. No more cupcake schedules. Yeah, and that's what I'm ready to see. I think Carson Beck knew he had to prove himself against some more experience with a little bit more experience under his belt, right? First year luck is always for a lot of players. Sophomore slumps for starters is real. So how long will he remain in a sophomore slump? I think Jalen Miro started his sophomore slump early. Probably like the last 4 games of the season. Jalen Miro, no, I say probably last 3. No, last four. Going into the Iron Bowl, even the Chattanooga game, it wasn't clean. We won, but it wasn't clean. You know, I think that's when his sophomore slump started, where he kind of peaked off of them first initial starts and that growth, and he kind of just plateaued right there. He didn't get better after that game. You saw it in the Iron Bowl. You saw it in Georgia game. You saw it in Michigan game, right? He did not get better. He didn't get worse, but he didn't get better. He didn't continue to progress. So full offseason, you see him putting in the throwing work with his throwing coach already. You see the change in his mechanics. You see the follow through. You see the release, right? It's all changing, and it's all coming together, right? These are things that he's sharpening up so that he could be more efficient. And now, starting this week, getting into the schematics and the basis of this offense, the introductory phase of this offense, I think this is an opportunity for him to just kind of excel with how they're going to feed it to him, because they're just going to, spoonfuls every day. And then next week, they'll start giving you partial meals, Then third week is full course meals. You know what I'm saying? This is how we want to start seeing you run phase 1 through 3 of this offense, right? And then spring game, we probably going to see that phase 1 through 3. And then once you start getting the game planning for the next season, that's when everything's going to get good. So, yeah. You don't need no help. I know you don't need no help, sis. I know you don't need no help. You got it. Bad mama jamma. Y'all, so me and Ebony, we got like a real brother-sister relationship, y'all. Like I think last week was the first time we haven't talked during the week since we met. I talked with Will, Noah's father. We're family, man. Will, Miss Roberts, Jaden's mother. I talk with a lot of the parents every week. I make sure I touch bases. I mean, and it ain't to get in contact with the players. It's literally I got real friends, real family within a lot of the Bama fan base right now. The White P just gifted 5 fan funders, man. Appreciate you, Dwight P. Dwight, when you gonna be up this way again, bro? We gotta link up, man. Hey, for my people that's been talking about linking up, man, I found me a spot that I'm gonna like to eat at. So y'all let me know, or I'll put something out on Twitter. Y'all let me know if y'all want to pull up one weekend. My birthday is in May. My family won't be here to celebrate with me, so it'll be awesome to have, some Bama fans celebrate my birthday with me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do nothing big. It's 34. Nothing special about 34, right? I think next time I throw myself a party, it's gonna be 40. You know what I'm saying? 40, shouty. Shout out to Auntie Janet said, get some. I'm not gonna say that, Auntie. Auntie, I'm not gonna say that. Auntie, you're not gonna get me. You ain't gonna get me, Auntie. Y'all see Auntie try to set me up, right? Auntie Janet tried to set me up, y'all. Hey, Antoine, Auntie Janet tried to set me up. Auntie Janet tried to set me up, y'all. Listen, get some food, Smook. Hashtag caveman, roll tide roll. She tried to set me up. Auntie Janet, you slick. You slick. You slick. I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean, Auntie. I know what you mean. Look, Auntie Janet, you got me. I ain't gonna lie. You almost got me. You almost got me. I'm not. Look at I love y'all, man. I love y'all. DR334. You see how, hey, y'all see how she tried? Hey, she talking like chicken or ground beef. Hey, you gotta say it. You gotta, in today's day and age, Darkwing Duck, you know you gotta be specific. Or like my cousin say, Pacific. You gotta be Pacific, right? You gotta be specific about what you mean when you typing stuff in today's day and age, because everything can be misread. Every and anything. Man law violation. Violation. Come on, y'all. Vibes, man. I love it. Nah, Smook. I'm on your. Oh, James, it's over. It's on, bro. Just know, once I get settled, my wife already told me go ahead and get the new PS5. So once I get settled, handle all my obligations, I'm probably going to waste some money on a PS5, right? Not waste money, but I'm gonna go outside of my means to get my PS5, right? I probably won't eat out for 3 weeks because that's what it is, right? But I'm gonna get my PS5. I will eat noodles and ravioli like I got over there on that doggone microwave. I will eat noodles and ravioli for 3 weeks just to get that NCAA and my new PS5. So y'all can laugh if y'all want to, but I'm gonna let y'all know I will have that game. What's crazy is I had a supporter hit me up and they was like, man, you want me pre-order for you? I was like, man, if you're gonna do it, I ain't gonna turn it down. He ain't confirmed yet. So I'm telling you, if he don't hurry up and do it, I'm gonna have to get on that. You'll be more Pacific, Auntie. Yeah, be more Pacific. Right off on the sand. You know it, George. You know it. You better know it. Cinco, you don't want this smoke, man. You don't want this smoke. I'm telling you, I don't think nobody in this chat want this smoke. And you know what's gonna be funny? I'm gonna do a league, right? And we're gonna do Bama versus Bama night, right? You get Bama, I'm gonna get Bama. Everybody in here gonna get Bama. We're gonna play Bama against Bama, right? We're gonna do A-Day. Every time I'm gonna select a fan every time I do it, right? One fan, you get featured. You go in there, we're gonna play. You get your shot. Try to take off the cane. I'm the cane. I'm the cane. Y'all better ask about me on that NCAA, man. It took me like 2 seasons to get good in this league that I was in before. But after that, I started cooking. Jag, what's good? How you feeling, sis? Feeling good today? Glad you're in here today. Gary, Bama for life, what's good? When that drop, I need y'all to drop them game tags so I can drag out. Gary, you don't want, I'm telling y'all, man. Oh, y'all want it? Let's do it. For all my gamers in the chat. Oh, let me end this poll, y'all. We got a crazy amount of votes coming in. Hold up, time out. Got 139 votes. Let me end the poll. Will Alabama play for a natty this year? I'm going to end the poll now. We got 140 votes. It's been up for 28 minutes. I forgot it was a poll up. Here y'all go. 71% of you say yes. 28% of you say no. Let me screenshot alert. And I'm going to tweet this for us. I'm going to tweet this for us. Let me tweet it real quick, and then I'm going to get the Xbox or PS5 poll up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now. And isn't it going to be cross-platform? All right, here y'all go in the chat. All right, let me tweet that for us. Here we go. Oh, I can't do it like that? Oh, okay. I was wondering, I'm like, why it ain't going through? All right, we'll post it. We'll get it posted later. But yeah, let's get into it. Oh, y'all some PS5ers in here. Okay, PlayStation Network. I feel you. I like PlayStation too, man. I was on Xbox for a while because I got on Call of Duty. You know, it's better on Xbox for a while. It was the best. People that playing Xbox make me think they be playing Fortnite primarily. Hey, don't do Xbox like that, all right? You hear me, Antoine? Don't you do Xbox like that, because for a while Xbox was that thing. All right? Xbox was that thing. All right? Don't do that. It's not nice. Okay? Rich B, what's good, my boy? I'm a graphics guy, and Xbox have better graphics. PlayStation is faster game, but graphics is my thing. You're absolutely right, Kareem. So graphics, Xbox has better graphics, but they don't have better processor, right? PlayStation got the processor. For games like Warzone, like some that I play, you got 120 frames. You know, some PCs don't even get 120 frames. They drop frames. So yeah, man. That's lit. Let me look at the poll, man. Okay. Got 52 votes. That's a short poll. Yeah. We got 71% on the PS5 train. And then you got 28% on the Xbox train, right? Let me get that one. All right. Yeah. I like it. All right. Did I get this other super chat or did I miss it? Okay, nah, that's the one. She tried to set me up. Auntie tried to set me up. Hey, but check this out, y'all. That's going to be our segment for today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. About to get ready to go to work. Next time you hear from me will be post-practice coverage, post-day one coverage. Myself and Kyle will be coming to you later tonight. Coach Sean will be on before us. Kalen DeBoer interview will kick that off this evening for this segment. Somewhere between 5:15 and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, you should see us go live. So if you really don't want to miss it, if you want to catch it live 100%, go and turn on your notifications for the next live. And yeah. And it's gonna be a good section. It's gonna be a good session tonight. I'm telling y'all, continue to support the channel. My words of encouragement today: be you, be true, and don't let anybody deter you from your goals today. Today is Monday. You make it happen. Monday we make it happen. We don't care what stands in our way. If we can get up, if we can move, we're gonna make it happen. Nobody can stop you. It's real. Nobody can really stop you. Only you can stop yourself. Your decisions you make, the choices you make. That's what can stop you. That's what puts you in a position to be held up. So make the right choices, make the best decisions that's going to keep you going forward towards your goals and all your aspirations, y'all. Everything gonna be there. Everything gonna be there. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I can't wait for y'all to be able to experience what we're about to experience here. And yeah, man, y'all continue to support. Smook, you got to give your choice on the poll. Don't cut it, bro. I did get my choice. I said PS5. I mean, it's hands down PS5. As much as I mean, PS5 is where it's at right now. The PS5. We didn't say PlayStation or Xbox. We said PS5 or Xbox, right? Traditionally, it was Xbox for me. You know, I was always an Xbox kid, but PS5 got my heart right now. What y'all drinking on? Listen, ain't nobody drinking. It's not even noon yet. DR334. Water and white cran peach ocean spray. That's what we got. Stop drinking your water out of plastic bottle then. Glass bottle water is best. Stop showing up late and making comments late, KD. Coming in here late. Hit the live button so you catch up. Somebody tell him he late. And guess what, KD? What you mean? Forever Chemicals. What you think glass is made out of, son? Talk to me, KD. What is glass made of? Is it made of water? Anything you drink, you drink out of going. Come on, man. Oh, I did the natty poll. We already ended it. You got your IPA. See, y'all tripping, man. It ain't time, man. 1186. Hey, you only way you know about 1186, you must be down from like where I'm from. I stay like an hour away from that guy. I was at home this weekend in Phoenix City, and I was telling my dad I could not remember the name of it, and I was trying to tell some people in Virginia about the spring water back home, right? And I couldn't think of the name, but I knew it was numbers. Why I done told these folks the name of the water was 1738. I'm like, and they was like, that's Spanish WAP. I was like, bro, I don't know. I feel like it's 1738. Nah, it's 1186, cuz. It's 1186. It's 1186. That's the name of that water. Yeah, they got it. Cause let me tell you. So Mario, it started. He used to just sell it, off the back of like, his truck. He had little spots he would post up and sell it at. That was about 5 years ago. My family and our church was on that water about 5 years ago. And then now he's getting into the local stores. He's in Renfro's. He's in Piggly Wiggly. Where else they at? I think they in like they're not in Publix. What's the other like low budget like grocery store that you can go? It's like only in small towns. It's a few of them out there, but he in all of those. Winn-Dixie. Do they still got Winn-Dixie? I don't think they got Winn-Dixie. But 5 years ago, man, when he first started, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. She needs to take a break from the internet sometimes. Hey, I feel you. Especially when you got folks like, especially when you got kids in here, man. Ebony, especially when you got kids bothering grown folks. What's going on, John? How you feeling? Dollar Journal, 1186 in Dollar Journal now. See, when I went home the other day, I ain't stopping at nobody's house. I went to my little sister's house to sleep. Woke up, went to church yesterday, and I didn't stop nowhere else in Phoenix City or Columbus. It was crazy. Uncle Jay, if you in here, tell him true story. I'm on the phone with Uncle Jay on the road out of Phoenix City, and somebody pulls up. Hey, boy! Start yelling. I'm like, I look over. It's my guy, Roland Huff, his son, Jalen Huff. I think he class of 27, right? Don't be surprised when he gets on the recruiting board. This kid is going to be the next one. Jalen Jiggy Huff. Go look him up. He was a child sensation probably like 3 years ago. One of those child sensations. Had Instagram popping. Everybody looking at his workouts and stuff, and he was going crazy. Now he in high school, freshman. Just got done with his freshman season playing varsity ball. About to go into his 10th grade year. Boy put on some weight, growing, getting some muscles about himself. Yeah, man. So that's what we doing. Is there Gregerson's? I worked their first job when I was 14, 30 years ago. Man, you know what? You remember not Gregerson's, but Albertsons. I remember Albertsons like in the Midwest. Do they still have an Albertsons in the Midwest? I don't know. But y'all, I gotta get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all for showing love, man. Columbus and Savannah, Georgia. Oh, Louis, you from Columbus? Yeah, I was in Columbus yesterday. Appreciate y'all for hanging out, man, and showing some love, y'all. I can't wait to be back with y'all later tonight. So much is going to happen between now and tonight. And y'all stay tuned, man. Keep your heads up. Stay prayed up. Continue to support the channel. And with that being said, y'all know how I like to leave y'all with. Roll Tide, baby. Y'all be